name. It stands to reason then that he would have stayed at Stamford Bridge for a bit longer, meaning that Luis Felipe Scolari wouldn't have got a look in. Would he have done better than the World Cup winning Brazilian, who only lasted till February the following year? And could he have improved upon Chelsea's third-place finish? And as for United, who won the title that season, would defeats in that Moscow final have led to Cristiano Ronaldo leaving the club for Real Madrid a year earlier? And would that have meant that Rafa Benitez's Liverpool won the Premier League instead of them? That's a pretty big butterfly effect, all from one missed penalty kick going the other way. And if you want to dig a bit deeper, there's plenty more that could have been affected. What if Anthony Knockaert had scored his penalty against Watford? We'd have been denied the Troy Deeney moment, sure, but might Leicester have gone on to win promotion to the Premier League earlier than scheduled? And would that have meant that Claudio Ranieri would never make it to the King Power? Would Arsenal or Tottenham, therefore, have been champions in 2016? The most significant sliding doors moment perhaps ever, though, was Paul Gascoigne, Wembley, June 1996. What if this had gone in? That golden goal would have sent England to the Euro 96 final against Czech Republic. 30 years of hurt could well have come to an end. There's so many of these moments that could have altered destiny forever. What if Shearer had signed for United? Would Lampard's ghost goal against Germany have kick-started England's World Cup back in 2010? What if Sam Allardyce didn't get bogged down in all that controversy and denied Gareth Southgate the England job? Does make you think.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn, alongside former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Manchester United piled more pressure on Thomas Frank's Spurs with a victory, come on, at Old Trafford.
Dallows crossing to the box, he's aimed towards Šeško, and then Bruno Fernandes is there to stab it home at the Stretford end and secure all 3 points for Manchester United.
Sorry, I'll be neutral now moving forward. The other Frank, the one with the massive barnet, is now just one game away from getting a haircut. Will he get there, Man United fans? 03717 223344. We'll discuss that, plus all of yesterday's action, including Arsenal going 9 points clear with a huge win over Sunderland.
Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. Victor Gyökeres off the bench at the double. This is another big step towards a first Premier League title in more than 20 years.
Yeah, 2 from Victor Gyökeres. Is this the day? Was that the moment that he truly arrived at Arsenal? 03717 223344. Today you've got 2 big games ahead. The M23 derby between Brighton and Palace, followed by a mouth-watering clash between Liverpool and Manchester City at Anfield. Arne Slot well aware of the threat that City pose.
A very good team that were even able to win against the team that we beat during the weekend, not even with their starters. So that tells you what a force City still is and always will be.
All the updates coming for you 1:30 on Game Day Live. Lots to get into, including the Six Nations as well. We're building up to Super Bowl 60. It's live for you here on talkSPORT tonight. The Seahawks take on the Patriots. 03717 223344 is the number to have your say on the show this morning. It's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. Be honest with me, is my barnet a mess?
No, it looks okay. Okay, it's not really nice.
Yeah, that's not what I was going for. But
yeah, no, it looks fine.
I have to do the job.
Yeah.
Maybe give a wee comb for me later. I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could get Frank Illett from the United Strand in here, and you could do a shampoo set just before we get it really primed before his haircut.
No, I don't fancy doing that.
Would you not do that? Would you? There's nothing.
Shampoo and set. It's 1980. Oh, well, 1979 was the last time I probably done one.
I'm not going to lie. What is this shampoo set if I only ever get a hair wash?
Well, it's what all the older ladies have.
Oh, I see.
You know, with the rollers in.
Well, they get like
shampoo and set. You wash their hair, then you set the hair, so you take it into sections, and then you put the roller in, and then once they take the rollers out, their hair is all...
Did you do that? That's so cute.
Anyway.
Really good to know. To be
talking about shampoo and set.
How
Keith Andrews would be a great shampoo and set.
Yeah, he needs...
He's got the barnet for it.
Proper cuddles up there, isn't he?
A full head of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Keith Andrews must be in bed like that.
Oh, the victory last night.
Anybody who undermined me.
Perfect time to play Newcastle. I mean, not taking nothing away from Brentford. With a performance that had so much energy. They are direct when they need to be. But Newcastle have sort of fell off of a bit of a cliff. They've conceded a lot of goals of late, had Champions League football to play, League Cup semi-final. They've had a lot of football, and you just see that Eddie's really struggling with his the physical side of the game, which, you know, they're struggling at the moment, Newcastle.
Yeah.
They just are.
They are. We'll come to it in detail in just a moment. It was a great day yesterday. How did you take in all the sport?
Well, I took in the early game, which was obviously Old Trafford. And after 5 minutes, the dynamic of Manchester United was clear for everyone to see. It's so different so quickly. I touched on this yesterday. Watching the first 5 or 10 minutes and watching how direct they are, play with purpose. Just the movement, Ahmad, who's a live wire with pace, chases people, hustles them, and Burma does the same. Fernandez higher up the pitch. Casemiro, I thought, was outstanding yesterday. It will come to a spot. If he keeps it going, it will be... Maybe if Man United offer him a 1-year deal at a certain rate, would he take it? Would he accept it? Because obviously he can't be on the money that he's been on in previous seasons. But Casemiro looks completely different. But I think for a midfielder, there's nothing better, and Kobbie Mainoo would find this as well, that if everything in front of you is moving and making runs for you and making your job easier to find that pass. Some of the passing that United did yesterday, I haven't seen that for years. Just, you know, a new manager's come in. I'm seeing all interchange play, and you've got the commentator saying, what a pattern of play that was. And it's like, well... Yeah, the guy's only been in the door, you know, for, the last 4 games. I'm thinking, well, if he'd have been in the door at the start of the season and had an impact like he has, they'd be challenging for the title. Yeah. And that sounds an outrageous thing to say in many ways, but it's like, well, he's made a huge difference, Carrick. He has. You can't deny it.
It was absolutely magic again yesterday for Man United fans. It was a blockbuster day also in the Premier League. Here's how it all sounded for you here on talkSPORT.
And it's a red card for Romero. He went in a little bit too heavy on Casemiro. Argentina on Brazil. And then Bruno Fernandes is there to stab it home at the Stretford end and secure all 3 points for Manchester United.
Scott Parker, what are you thinking now? Burnley 0, West Ham 2, and it's come from Valentin Costanelos.
Hat-trick Cole Palmer. Inside the first 37 minutes of this game. Wolves 1, Chelsea 3.
There was a stoppage in play. Everyone in the stands wondering what's going on. We've just seen a squirrel run all the way from inside the Bristol City half, and it went in the goal.
Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 1. What a wonderful goal this is from the new signing, Ryan. Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. Victor Gyökeres off the bench at the double.
Fulham 1, Everton 2. This is an embarrassment for the Fulham defence, in particular goalkeeper Bert Leno.
The left-footed strike at the Gallagher end to break Newcastle's heart. Brentford were brilliant, up to 7th. Newcastle 2, Brentford 3.
What a day. Yep, it all started live here on talkSPORT. Manchester United beat 10 men Spurs 2-0. Arsenal thrashed Sunderland. Great performance from them. That ended 3-0. Villa and Bournemouth was a draw 1-1. Burnley were beaten by West Ham at home 2-0. Looking at Fulham also beaten at home by Everton 2-1. David Moyes absolutely doing bits, isn't he? And Wolves defeat yesterday by Chelsea 3-1. Newcastle Brentford, that was a bit of a cracker. And as we mentioned there, Keith Andrews getting the job done again. It ended 3-2. 21 goals, 7 with the left foot.
Oh.
Yes, they cast. That's quite unusual. A third of goals were left.
I've never really count how many left-footed and right-footed.
Unusual percentage, some might say.
Well, yeah. Is it just this weekend, or because if you had a detailed report of the last year, could you say how many left-foot goals have been scored?
I can't count, so but we can look into that for you. Let me ask my friend.
By the way,
GBT.
When you said there earlier about Manchester United we were just talking. I'm talking about the 11 against 11 United.
No, that's fair. I think that's a very, very good point.
That happened when they were playing 11 against 11. Okay, and Mbeumo scores after the sending off. But if you look at the opening patterns of play, that I've played at Old Trafford twice. One with Millwall. I'm trying to think. Was the second one with Millwall as well? I'm not sure because I did 2 seasons. And both times were 4-0, 5-1. It was literally from the outset. It was a tin-hat job. They didn't disappoint you. And, that's what's expected at Old Trafford, that type of style as well.
Yeah.
I expect that of my club, Liverpool. They have to play with a certain, panache, a style of, which we see a lot of the time. Last year we saw it, and we've seen it with Klopp beforehand, and Bob Paisley going back years. The history of the football club means your football club has to play a certain way, and that is winning things and playing with style.
Christian Romero, let's talk about his sending off. It's his second time this season that he's been shown a straight red card. So this time, as it's the second of the season, it'll be a 4-game ban, meaning he's going to miss the North London derby. And after everything that happened with Romero this week on social media, of all weeks for this to happen, he's getting absolutely hammered by his own fans. United now 4th, 3 points off second. Spurs are down in 14th, just 6 outside of the bottom 3. This is a real issue. Now the captain's not going to be present for the next 4 games. Thomas Frank said after the game, the red card was unfortunate, but it was the right decision.
Of course, it was a little bit the perfect storm. Of course, it was supposed to happen today, unfortunately. But I think it's a clear. I watch it now 5 times back. Clearly, he goes for the ball, want to tackle it, and he's just moved, and then unfortunately, it's a follow through, and then it's a red card the way the rules is.
Yeah, but in terms of the action going into it, is it someone unnecessarily trying to win a ball too assertively, trying to get his team on the front foot? Is that the right decision to make in those circumstances? Was he a little bit too eager, or was it just a matter of circumstance?
I think, when you see the situation, there's so many things happening in it. It's clear the ball is just ahead of him. He wants to tackle it, and unfortunately, he didn't hit the ball.
Okay, so here we are, the aftermath of Christian Romero's week, again going against the board and the club on social media, and then gets sending off. I mean, how's that for timing?
Doesn't surprise me with Christian Romero. He's done this in the past. It's not just this season. We're not just saying that he's got quite a long list of misdemeanours, hasn't he? Some people are throwing the kitchen sink at him. I'd throw the dishwasher, tumble dryer, fridge, everything, because I just think Tottenham are better off getting rid of him at the end of the season if they can, because someone will pay good money for him. And I think they should move on because he's also captain, which compounds it. He does things like this, and it cost the team dearly yesterday. Now, whether they were good enough, Tottenham, to get something out of the game 11 against 11, we don't know, but it certainly gave them really pretty much zero chance afterwards.
I asked this yesterday, would you take the captaincy off Romero? Would you do it now after this?
I don't know what. So who steps in?
Yeah.
Is there a captain material that you'd go at Tottenham at the moment and go?
Van der Ven, yeah.
Well, Van der Ven, yeah, maybe. Probably that's probably as best a shout as any, but I would just probably go behind closed doors. And look, it's impossible for Thomas Frank because he's in a dangerous situation himself. That will he get to the end of the season? But that's one of the changes he has to consider and make for me. I just don't see. Sometimes you have to let good players go because I'm not questioning his ability, Christian Romero's ability. I think he has a terrible attitude sometimes and he's incredibly reckless on the football field. That's what he does.
4-game ban now for Romero. Spurs fans, are you really considering and thinking and worrying about a relegation battle? Should they be?
I think they just got enough, but they're on a bad form, Spurs. But there's been some bright little sparks. I think Simons has certainly shown that he's a capable player. Gallagher's come in and done okay. But then they got an incredible injury crisis. So I don't see it. If they get a good few of them players back, they'll be fine.
Spurs fans, how do you feel about this morning? Where do you stand with your captain? Is that it? Should he be stripped to the captaincy, as Cass pointed out there? Should they be getting rid of him at the end of the season? And are you concerned about a possible relegation battle? 03717 223344 if you want to pick up the phone and give us a wee call. 81089 if you want to send us a text message. On the way next, we're going to discuss that huge win for West Ham. What does their late win at Burnley do for their relegation picture? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT.
I mean, arguably, Crook, it could have been a lot worse than this, couldn't it? We thought it might be. This was an additional charge. There was an additional charge for a failing of an obligation to provide full, complete and prompt assistance to the Premier League. Let's be clear. They tried to use a loophole to stop getting an earlier points deduction when they were in the Premier League. Leicester said it was disproportionate, but did they get off lightly?
Yes. And I think Leicester as a football club have been punished for trying to wriggle out of things by trying to use, as Simon Jordan described, the sort of black hole where they were neither a Championship or a Premier League club in order to dodge the charges. They've caught up with them in the end. I know the Premier League were pushing for as many as 20 points to be taken off Leicester, which pretty much would have resigned them, I think, to League One football next season.
Will they appeal the Premier League that this isn't harsh enough, the punishment?
Well, that's an interesting question because I don't think Leicester will appeal. And maybe risk a further point deduction. I think they should feel they got off lightly. But just looking at their statement, and a lot of Leicester fans have picked up on this, it probably tells you where they're at as a football club. There was no real contrition from Leicester. They're still trying to play the victim for the fact they breached PSR rules to the tune of nearly £21 million. They brought a lot of this on themselves. They've made bad decision after bad decision. They've hired and fired managers with too much regularity. They've sold players, but replace them with players who aren't up to standard. And that's why we're now in a situation whereby on the 10-year anniversary of Leicester winning the Premier League, defying those odds of 5,000 to 1, 10 years to that very day is the last day of the Championship season. They could find themselves in the third tier.
But hold on a second here. This all unravelled when Brendan Rodgers was in charge, and maybe before it unravelled. It has to be remembered that Leicester City were consistently disrupting the established elite 2 seasons running.
Rushes out to the right-hand side, has a man there, through the intersection at the 39-yard line, returning out to the numbers 25, 20, Cooper down to the 10, down to the 5, touchdown Eagles! He's got 2 blockers, he's going to go all the way, 10, 5, touchdown! And the rookie has picked off the superstar!
Good morning, welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa striker Tony Cascarino. This is the composer. Do you know his name?
No.
John Williams.
Right, okay.
It's his birthday today. He's 94 years old and he is the man behind legendary soundtracks.
Yeah.
So just because it's 6:20 and we like to annoy you, we're going to play you some of his soundtracks and you have to guess.
I always get confused on all these. You know I don't like fiction.
So you know this is Star Trek?
Yeah. Star Trek.
There you go.
Star Wars.
Got to be up early.
So there's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, is it?
I've not seen any.
I mean, this is Star Wars, yeah. I would have got that. This one.
Okay. DJ James, go for it. Number 2. What's this one then?
Oh. Do you know this one?
I do. My childhood.
Your child. It sounds very
Expelliarmus!
I was going to say Harry Potter.
Yeah.
No, it sounded like that. You know,
Did it sound like Harry Potter? Could have said that then.
Okay.
Number 3.
Go on. Oh, that's pretty epic, that.
You know
Is it? It's not Shining, is it?
No, but I can see your confusion.
Oh, No, not Psycho. No, it's not Psycho.
Pass, man. You're
I do recognise it, but I don't know. Go on.
Jaws.
Oh, God.
Jaws. Gonna need a bigger boat. Is that Jaws? Or have I just...
Yeah.
That is Jaws. Right. Happy birthday, John Williams. 94 years old. To be fair to him, he's got some talent to compose all this. Do you want one more? Yeah, give us one more then. Give us one more. Is it not final this one?
No, this one. It's... So it's the floating...
Oh, God, no.
I know this. This is so easy. I know this and I can't think of what it is.
Oh, so many people are going to be so annoyed at us right now for not knowing this. Who?
Phone
Oh.
E.T., yeah.
E.T.
Oh, it sounded so obvious, didn't it? You know, you're thinking, I know that one. See, I'm not a great movie buff.
No,
I don't.
You don't watch a lot of TV.
No, I just don't. Look, there's lots of older films that I've watched, but I've never been one to go to the movies all the time.
Yeah, I do love a soundtrack.
I know people know directors and the actors. I'm always saying to my missus, "Who's the actor in that one?" And blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And she'll say, "Oh, it's that," and okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've got some real good tunes going on there. Big John Williams, happy for birthday, big guy, 94 today. Let's focus on Burnley.
Yeah.
Yesterday, beaten by West Ham.
I hope.
This is right up your Strasser.
Right.
West Ham picked up a vital win in their quest to avoid relegation, defeating fellow strugglers Burnley 2-0 at Turf Moor. So Hammers now 8 points ahead of yesterday's opponents, just 3 from safety, following Forest's defeat by Leeds on Friday night. After that result yesterday, you're looking at West Ham and thinking they will stay up?
Oh, well, what was impressive was, again, Somerville. And I talked about Manchester United earlier in the show about the direction, pace, that added ingredient to a forward line. Somerville, Bowen, Wilson yesterday. The energy of, just Somerville with his goal, great little finish. And just that's made a massive difference to the team. Yeah. Quite clearly, a different team to what we saw a month or so. A couple of new signings come in. They play Manchester United on Tuesday at home.
That's going to be fascinating.
It'd be a great atmosphere because they always complain about the atmosphere is never the same as the bowling stadium. Okay, that's a fair point. But I guarantee you on Tuesday night, with what's just happened in the last few weeks,
West
the atmosphere
Ham
will be different.
Man United,
for both clubs.
Live on talkSPORT from the London Stadium on Tuesday night. Like you say, that's
intriguing game, that one.
Very much so. Burnley 11 points from safety, still only have 3 wins in the Premier League so far this season. Scott Parker, the manager, probed by our reporter Mickey Gray after the game about whether he has any concerns over his future at the club.
Of course there's pressure, there's immense pressure, and not just from me. Obviously I sit in a position which that cranks up tenfold, but I've been under these situations many a time from a young boy off a council estate in inner London, what was always searching to fight and get out of situations what wasn't ideal, and that's given me a grounding to stand up and fight now, and I'll always revert back to that. You know, in football, every year there's a lot of disappointment, and over a career there's a lot of disappointment. But we keep fighting, mate, and that's exactly what I'll do and try and turn it.
Do you have any sympathy for managers in these situations?
Of course.
Yeah.
Management is such a high failure rate. Whether you consider, I don't consider Scott Parker a failure at Burnley. He's done an amazing job and he's got them into the top flight. I said to you yesterday, it's a really hard job keeping Burnley in the Premier League. Now, Burnley fans might beg to differ to a degree, but I think management itself sometimes it feels impossible from the outside.
Yeah.
It just does. You know, how do you assess managers? We could go through a table. We could look at every division, Shebahn, and we could have managers and we could talk about their good times and their bad times, right? Because most managers do. I was with Mick McCarthy at Millwall last week, and we were talking about the clubs he managed, and he openly, said that job was easier than other jobs, and some jobs have felt impossible. And he had a 20-plus year career as a manager. Steve Bruce will tell you exactly the same.
Paul from Burnley's been in touch, 81089. Morning, guys. Enjoying the show. It's time for Scott Parker to go. He's lost the players and now the fans. We can't continue like this until the end of this season. We need some positivity heading into another championship season. The whole club needs a lift. The recruitment ultimately hasn't been good enough, but we need some positivity.
Yeah, look, last season, Scott Parker had a defence that was so tight and so hard to break down. Yeah. They won a lot of games, kept a lot of clean sheets. This year, it's different. You're in the Premier League.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Been in the Premier League. It's hard to keep clean sheets against really good players. Teams have massive budgets, can pay the biggest wages to employ really terrific footballers. And you make a mistake, they'll punish you. And Burnley, unfortunately, from a decent enough start, have ended up conceding quite a number of goals.
All right, you're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we're looking ahead to the huge one tonight out in Santa Clara. Super Bowl 60 is on the way and it's live on talkSPORT.
You can believe why is it so hard to believe a black man in a white man? Understand me?
Yeah,
why is it so hard to believe a black man in a white man?
Why you don't believe it?
Why is it?
Let me answer the question.
Yeah, go on.
So we go there.
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with colour.
No, it does. This whole country got some. This whole world got something to do with race. You think you pan out? You think you have a? You think you done had a great life? You think your life has been like mine?
How is Derek Chisora then, out of curiosity, given he's a black man, a national treasure in this country then? It's not about colour. You called somebody a cheat. I asked you a question.
Oh, come on. You have a whole lot of black people around this
the question. Didn't like the question. Didn't like the question. All right, I moved on.
Stop it.
I moved on.
Man, come on, man. Y'all can't tell, man.
So the bronze bomber, there he is.
Yeah, so come on, man.
Come on, we can have a disagreement, can't we?
Life, as a little boy and I bet your view as a little boy is totally different than my view as a little boy. Most black people, why we so into it with each other, because we have PTSD. We done been through so much so much
you wanted to move on, right?
Come on, man. It's hard to move on when you don't know the truth, and that's when I come in and try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You know, you don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what
ey. El mejor de la nueva porque me crié en la vieja. Gracias a mami, papi, por todos los jalos no rea. Nunca me han visto en la calle ni en los podcasts ando quea. Tratan de medir fuerza y no pueden ni en pareja.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and Sexy Dexy Tony Cascarino. We know it's Bad Bunny. We're getting a lot of Bad Bunny today.
Yes, I've never heard someone being mentioned so often. And obviously Super Bowl weekend.
I know. In fairness, I think because we've been talking about him a lot, my phone's been listening, and I'm getting so many of the algorithm.
I know, it's a bit scary, that, isn't it?
I could see me having a little shuffle to this.
No, but isn't it scary when you talk about something that your phone picks up, and
Yeah.
then suddenly you get an advert come through? Or...
Yeah.
Quite weird.
Listen, sometimes I swear it knows what I'm thinking now. I'll be like thinking of somebody that I haven't spoken to in years, and then I'll open Instagram and they're there. It's like the first picture.
That's freaky.
How does it know that? I swear it's a thing.
No.
Maybe I'm talking pure pie, but anyway. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing okay. Stick on the smart TV. Watch the YouTube channel if you fancy. Stay with us here on talkSPORT. If you fancy tunes like Bad Bunny, I'm sure Chris Evans on Virgin Radio tomorrow from 6:30 will have you covered on that if you want to swipe across there on the talkSPORT app. Some of your headlines you're waking up to. Nick Ball's reign as WBA featherweight world champion ended in dramatic fashion. The British boxer stopped in the 12th round by Brandon Figueroa in front of a stunned home crowd in Liverpool. It was live on talkSPORT last night. Oh, that's got a heart. That's one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously didn't see it, but you know, I'm sure losing the 12th. Yeah, I think it was knocked down twice, wasn't it? In the 12th?
In the 12th, yeah. Celtic. Oh, I was knocked down twice last night watching this. Edge past Dundee in the Scottish Cup 5th round thanks to a 97th minute equaliser from Adamu and a winner in extra time from Tunkuki. It's one of those things where I'm looking and thinking, please God, no, don't let this happen. And then I'm also going, okay, maybe we focus on the league. Maybe this isn't the worst thing. And then, thank God, Nick got it done. We just needed that. And it was a huge relief. And the crowd went wild. Also, Oxlade-Chamberlain was introduced to the fans yesterday at Parkhead as well. Chelsea breezed past Wolves 3-1 thanks to a hat-trick from Cole Palmer. After the game, the hat-trick hero spoke to talkSPORT and said he has clear personal goals for the rest of the season.
Yeah, obviously the target is to go to the World Cup, but I don't just want to go to the World Cup to be a part player. I want to go to the World Cup and help my nation win the World Cup, like in my world. So hopefully I get over this, and yeah, everyone's loving it under the new boss. Give everyone confidence, you know. So yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Okay, he needed this. It was a huge game for him yesterday. Hat-trick hero. Did you see this coming from Cole?
No, I mean, obviously 2 penalties. And I've got to say, I'm not sure about the first one, but it was given. The second one was laughable. I mean, Mosquera, what is he thinking when he pushes? You know, you're pushing a player in the back, and you know, just the referee's got no option but just to give a penalty. He's got a couple of penalties and a great finish for his third. But Cole Palmer's a talent. We all know that. But he's going to have to be absolutely at his best form to start in the England team, because whoever's the 10 will be, it's going to come down to who Tuchel think is absolutely on his game coming the World Cup.
It's such a competitive sport, that number 10. But
yeah, it is, because
he's at the World Cup. He's on the plane, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, I don't think there's a doubt of being on the plane, but he's going to have to be playing better than Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham, and whoever, whether it's Phil Foden, you know, whether he makes it. He's going to have to be as good. Oh, he'd have to be the best of them to start for England.
As for Wolves, I mean, what can you say? Rob Edwards very damning about his side yesterday. Just not really.
So daft, some of the decision making. And they started the game brightly, Wolves. You know, had Chelsea on the back foot for about 10, 15 minutes. But once they started making mistakes, they paid a heavy price for it.
Yeah. Chelsea's next 2 games, by the way, live on the talkSPORT network. Leeds on Tuesdays on Talk. You can swipe across there on the talkSPORT app. And then the FA Cup tie at Hull Friday night, live for you here on talkSPORT. Now, tonight, live from the Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, one of the biggest sports entertainment events in the world. Super Bowl 60. The Seahawks take on the Patriots, and it's live, as ever, on talkSPORT.
I always wanted to be a champion. I always wanted to be a Super Bowl champion, and the opportunity is right there in front of us.
I'm just glad I'm going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter about the opponent, but we going.
Seahawks win, and the Seahawks are going back back to the Super Bowl. Can you believe it?
Goes to Walker, cuts back to the left. Huge amounts of space on that side. He's hitting the 4, but he gets into the end zone, strolling back. Less of a Walker, more of a stroll into the end zone.
Man, they doubted us all year. We in the bowl, baby.
May 3-step drop. He looks, he fires, end zone. Outstretched hands, brought in, touchdown, Patriots!
Do you feel like they've been disrespected?
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're in the Super Bowl.
Don't let go of the rope. You belong here. The Seahawks, New England Patriots. Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California.
Just love a bit of American commentary. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I'm the biggest fan. I'm not. I'm a glory hunter.
Do you like my hat?
You look lovely. That's Alan Brazil's skip cap, by the way.
I feel like a little bit of a cowboy. Like, put your hands up, you bum. Put my hands up, my what?
What? Turn on the Smart TV, the YouTube channel. Tony Cascarino rocking a bit of merch from the Super Bowl out there in Santa Clara for us. Part of the talkSPORT team, Will Varney, is with us now. Morning, Will. How's it going?
Hi, Will.
Yeah, hi guys. Look, I'm absolutely loving seeing Cass in the big hat. Shebahn, you're dancing to Bad Bunny. This is exactly what we want.
Exactly. We're pumped. We're ready for it. You're out there. This is how many Super Bowls you've covered now, Will?
This is my third one.
Okay.
So started in Las Vegas, last year in New Orleans, and then this year in Santa Clara or San Francisco. Yeah, so 3 can't be bad, can it?
Where does the build-up rate so far? Is it up there with the best in terms of build-up?
It's a tough question because all cities are really different. I think comparing this to New Orleans, everything's in such close proximity. But with the game being in Santa Clara this year, it's about an hour and a half's drive from San Francisco. So it's been, it's a strange one. Today we were at the stadium setting up ahead of the live commentary tomorrow, and it is a bit frustrating having to do that long travel. But ultimately, I think the whole Bay Area, San Jose, Santa Clara, San Francisco. Yeah, there's just building excitement, and it was mega today in and around the hotel that I'm staying at in downtown San Francisco. Yeah, it's just been superb.
Well, tell us, because look, the Americans do love their data in a crazy way. There's just so much detail involved, and how are they looking at these two teams? Because obviously, there's always a favourite, but the data, what is it telling us that we don't know? Because they are mad on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look, Cass, nobody foresaw these two teams playing in the Super Bowl at the very start of this season. The fact that the New England Patriots, well, they won just 4 games last season. They bring in a new head coach, somebody they know very well, a former player in Mike Vrabel.
Michael Carrick.
Yeah, exactly. What is it about the Michaels right now? Goodness me, just turning fortunes around. But exactly, Mike Vrabel has just changed the culture completely. They have a phenomenal young quarterback, only 23 years old is Drake May, and they've been able to turn 4 wins into 14 in the regular season and then win in the playoffs to get to the big game in Santa Clara. Whilst for the Seahawks, well, nobody gave them a chance. They're in one of the best divisions in football, and before the season, they trade away their franchise quarterback. They send away their star receiver, and felt like they were doing a bit of a soft rebuild. Nobody gave them a hope, but ultimately fantastic coaching, a star quarterback in Sam Darnold, who is one of the great redemption stories. Like, we love underdog stories in whatever sport it is, and this guy, drafted in the first round in 2018, never made it work in the NFL, bounced around teams, and then found a home in Minnesota where he won 14 games last year, and then Seattle went, he's our guy, we want him, and he's proved it again. He's not a one-season wonder. He's taken the Seahawks to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
It's going to be a massive night. I mean, Bad Bunny, what's your expectation for him? Cass is getting frustrated with the whole Bad Bunny chat, but, I mean, are you up for it? Are you game for this halftime show?
I am absolutely game for Bad Bunny, Shebahn. I love Bad Bunny. I know that there's a lot of talk, obviously, whether it's political or whether the fact that he's a Spanish speaker, so he doesn't speak in English, and I think that's something that's been questioned surrounding, well, the enjoyment of his music. But like, he's great to shuffle along to. Like, some of his songs are fantastic, and look, this whole area is going to fully embrace it. Right now it's 10:30 p.m. at night, so I'm going to get a bit of sleep, don't worry. But then wake up fresh tomorrow, and I think Santa Clara is going to be absolutely bouncing when he takes to the stage for the halftime show. Absolutely.
You're going to be a good bunny then, aren't you, Will?
Yeah, exactly. Hopping bunny, maybe. Yeah.
I know you've done this before, but tell us about the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, what we need to know about him.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. I spoke to Nat and Leanne about this on Kickoff on Thursday. Adam Durd, he's British-born, born in Middlesex, and he sort of grew up in the NFL UK ranks. He was the defensive coordinator for the London Warriors, worked his way up, and eventually moved over to the United States and started working with the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. And he's been a history maker wherever he's gone. He became the first British-born coach, permanent coach on a staff, and then he gets an opportunity to go to the Seattle Seahawks, become the defensive coordinator alongside head coach Mike McDonald. And these two have just created one of the best defenses in the whole of the league. And right now, it's a fantastic story. Will Gavin spoke to him earlier in the week, and that interview right now is over on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel. Definitely advise people to go watch that before kickoff, because it's just so interesting hearing from him, his story, and just that budding excitement to the big game, potentially being a Super Bowl winner by the end of the night.
Well, the expat takes on the expats.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New England Pates. He's at the Seahawks.
Yeah. Oh, I see your point. He's full of the dad jokes today.
Work that one out.
He doesn't get out often, our cast. Listen, well, great result for Chelsea yesterday. You'll be happy with that as well?
To be honest, I completely missed the game because I didn't know what time it was. I completely forgot my fantasy Premier League team, which is
You're
even
not a real
more
fan.
Oh, honestly, that we've got a forfeit on the table, so I'm dragging myself down the league. I'm worried, so I really need to get back to the UK at this rate so I can actually figure out my fantasy team and sort that out. But
Are you
yeah,
going to
big
call
win for
it,
Chelsea.
Will?
Palmer 3 goals.
Yeah.
Are you going to call the score tonight? What you think is going to win and why?
I'm going to call a Seahawks blowout win. I've thought that all season. Usually I flip-flop, and a lot of people are considering it's going to be tighter than that, but I just think the Seahawks are such a good team, and I think they'll have too much. I'm going to give you an exact score prediction because I'm so nice.
If you get this
I'm
right,
going to go...
Cass will give you a kiss. Go on.
I'm going to go Seahawks 27, Patriots 10.
Okay. Well, that's noted down. Everyone clip it up. And Will, we'll hear from you later on tonight. Sleep well, and we'll chat to you soon, buddy.
Cheers, Thank you so much, guys. Have a great show.
And you, Will Varney, all part of our Super Bowl 60 team, live for you here on talkSPORT tonight. It starts at 11 and then all underway from the action at 11:30. Here's what else is coming up for you on talkSPORT today, 9 o'clock. The Sunday edition is here. Henry Winter alongside Sean Custis. 11 o'clock, the warm-up returns with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning, and they take you through to game day live. Sam Mataface and Alex Crook are going all around the grounds from 1:30 with all of the games as they happen, and then it's Adi Oladipo and Alan Pardew taking your calls on the weekend's action from 6:30. The Trans Euro Express is in at 9, taking you up to Super Bowl 60. Live commentary from the Levi Stadium with our team there out in the ground. Will Gavin and the troops. Kick off from 11. Get the snacks and the popcorn, keeping you going. The best way to stay with us is on the talkSPORT app. Coming up next, we'll get into today's back pages. Let's focus on Chelsea. Liam Rosenior back pages again. Rosenior hits out at Arsenal. Chelsea head coach accused the opponents of disrespect for disrupting his side's warm-up before the cup tie.
I wouldn't come out of that, me.
I guess he was asked about it.
Bat it away, use your brains, use your head. Say, oh, mate, what's your point? You saying that costs the game? No.
He got a bit excited, didn't he? Really, you saw if you've watched the video, I'd love to see how far onto their side of the pitch they were, because they didn't pan round, did they? They just showed him giving a bit to somebody. You didn't see who it was at. You didn't see how far they were into there. If they're right in their half and they're constantly doing it, then I get it. I understand it, but still, it's just calm it down.
Rosenior mentioned that it could be mind games, though. Do you believe that the Arsenal players were creeping into that half to get in their heads, or was it just a genuine?
They've done the job either way. They've got in their head either way.
Well, now he's talking about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shebahn, I don't know. Arsenal were favourites to win that game for me. Why would you, nah. Maybe you might say, look, you know the rules, stay in your own half, but nah, I think we're looking at a big problem here that's not a problem.
Yeah, I don't think they need to resort to doing that, Arsenal.
Yeah, he said in the interview, I've never asked my team to approach on the opposition's territory. I didn't think it was right. Where they were operating, they were affecting my lads' warm-up. What's your thoughts on Rosinha?
I'm still a little bit waiting for it, to be honest with you. The results are ultimately going to be the thing that dictates whether he's a success or not. Some of the things he comes out and says, obviously the world that we live in now, social media, they're so quick to make memes of, honestly, Alan. I don't know if you're on Twitter, Instagram, any of this kind of stuff.
A little, but not really.
It's brutal, honestly. It's a brutal place to be at times. They are so quick at making these memes of David Brent and all that. And that, I think, subconsciously seeps in.
Good morning to you. Here's the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Villa striker Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines this morning. I can't take you seriously. Still got his hat on. Jeez,
Right, if the producer, Sam, comes and sticks it on my head, well, I'm going to keep it on.
I've got some other props to stick on your head a little bit later on. Sit tight, my friend. Dango Ouattara scored a late winner. Brentford's first victory at St James's Park since 1934. Wow, what a stat that is. And what a job Keith Andrews is doing. I mean, manager of the season. I know it's up there with Reggie Labrie, but I mean, that's incredible.
Well, you have to look at people upstairs. You know, whatever we say, Matthew Benham has lost Thomas Frank in the summer. He's come up with the idea, and I'm sure it wasn't just overnight. And he's come up with Keith Andrews can step into that place, and a lot of Brentford fans would have been really nervous. And look, here we are. Wow, what a season they've had.
You even look at the story yesterday of Ewan Wiesa when he decided he was kind of going against the club that he'd been at for so long, Brentford, and he changed the profile picture and he removed all his pictures of him in a Brentford shirt from social media to go to Newcastle. And yesterday, Brentford get that win at St James's Park, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, if you just think of it as well, Shebahn, is that think of the amount of centre forwards Brentford have had and lost, and they've replaced.
I know.
I mean, if there's ever a club that's got a recruitment system that has worked so well for the centre forward position, Brentford are right at the top.
Yeah.
You know, Thiago this year is just really, wow.
Yeah, stunning. Fair play, Keith Andrews, up to 7th in the Premier League. That surprised everyone. I think they were one of the favourites to go down at the start of this season when Thomas Frank. That's crazy. Also, news going around on social media this morning. This is a trending cast. Ennio Luco has come out recently on a podcast berating broadcasters for their choice of punditry team in the Women's Euros final. The former Lioness suggests that it's wrong that herself and England's most capped player, Farah Williams, had to watch the game in the stands, whereas former Man City player Neda Manua and Ian Wright were part of the punditry team. She feels completely aggrieved by that and can't understand why she was in the stands and Ian Wright and Nedum were drafted in for the final, taking up those female places who have earned their place in women's football. How do you feel about that?
I never know where the way she thinks is, to me, bizarre, because do you think like that on every level? Entitlement to you think you should be chosen? No, we all think to a degree, why not me? Right. We all do that. We're all guilty of doing that. So I understand it, but it's just doing it too much. It's like you can't be, you know, you're in a really good position. You get a lot of good work. You know, you've done many different things, radio, TV. You know, you've not been ignored.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tough one. You know more than me, Shebahn, on this.
Well, no, we're all allowed at a pen.
And of course you go. Yeah, but it's a tough one to understand.
It's one of those. We had a really healthy chat about this in the office this morning, and one of our male producers pointed out, well, she's got a point. You know, she played 102 times for England. Yeah. So why in the final is she put to the stands?
But there's loads of people who have had loads of caps who are sitting in stands who are not working. There's lots of them people.
But also, I think where Annie has to realise that the hypocrisy is of a whole new level now, because I've not seen people point out her lack of game time in the Premier League or her lack of game time playing for England men when she was chosen to do punditry at the Men's World Cup and in the Men's Premier League. So how come now you're calling out Ian Wright and Neda Manua for not having playing for England women or put on the Lioness shirt when you didn't do it for the Men's Premier League and you didn't do it for the Men's World Cup?
Yeah, I think
and you're looking for diversity in football. Well, that's so hypocritical. It absolutely blows my tiny little mind.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's quite sad that everything is being looked at, and I think some of the ways that she talks, it causes division. People get upset by it because how would, Ian Wright and who was
Neda Manua.
Yeah, how would they feel about that?
Well,
that comment?
This is it. I mean, when those comments are made towards a woman, and I actually have sympathised with Annie in the past because it's hard work.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard work then just because you're a woman. It's like you shouldn't have an opinion because you've never played in men's football. But then you've pointed out that 2 guys haven't played in women's football. Well, you ain't playing in men's football. So why are you calling for their heads now? I don't understand it. Anyway, it's time now for this. This is his new theme tune. This is better.
There you go, Olivia Newton-John.
No, I was going to say it's Olivia Newton.
And I feel that there's, because your wife is down under, Sam, you know where I am.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
yeah.
so
She's an Aussie too.
All ticks all the boxes.
She actually is an Aussie. I would get in trouble for saying that one.
I'm going to say, is Sophia chosen this song for you?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
This is our esteemed James of yesterday, Jasper. It was Jasper yesterday who picked it, and now James is fulfilling the obligation.
Do you know, one of my talents is, you say a name,
got one, have
I can sing a song about any name. I can find you a song. And
go on then, do Shebahn.
Happy birthday.
Actually, Cass, for a dad joke for you, that's pretty good. I'll go with that. That's
This guy. Very good. I like that one. Best one from you so far. Sam, crack on, please.
Let's talk about something much more non-ridiculous. For Newcastle, it's simple. Refuse to sell to elite or never challenge them. Martin Samuel, writing in the Sunday Times this morning, he says Newcastle have basically got to stop selling all their best players if they want to be taken seriously, which is easier said than done. But the point he's making is that they ended up selling Alexander Isak in the summer following that protracted transfer saga, didn't they?
Yeah.
And now there was talk about Sandro Tonali towards the end of the transfer window as to whether or not his agent may be making a few waves about his future potentially. And he says, the new chief executive, David Hopkinson, who we heard from on talkSPORT last week, talking about potentially winning the league within the next 5 years, talks a good game and wasn't there when Liverpool won the arm wrestle over Isak, but this is a test of his resolve. The same for sporting director Ross Wilson, who has stepped into the void, blamed for Newcastle's recruitment issues. And it is complex building a squad in the modern game with so many financial rules to navigate. Yet this one is very simple. Newcastle start keeping their best players or they're not serious people. How do you feel about that, Cass?
Well, I think it's... Martin makes a valid point. The only issue I would say that sometimes it literally is impossible to keep someone who doesn't want to be there. What do you do with Isak? If he downs tools or, as giving the daily problem to a manager, I think that's a problem you have to resolve because it's like having another half who says, I don't want to be with you anymore.
You've been there.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. But do you know what I mean? If someone wants out the door, what do you do? How do you stop them? You can't beg them. You can't beg Isak to stay at Newcastle. So I think it's unfortunate. It's part of the game and Isak isn't the first, by the way. There's lots of players over the years who have thrown the kitchen or they've thrown the towel down and they're gone.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Eddie Howe because I think he's such a fantastic manager.
Yeah.
And there's now question marks over his job. Is he the guy? Of course he's the guy, but he needs that fundamental support from those above him. And that what are you laughing?
I'm laughing about your comment. You've had a few. I just tickled me as I'm looking at you.
I think before this Michael Carrick stuff, I'd be get Eddie Howe to Man United. That's he's that good. He's that good a manager. I think he would have been.
Would you change him now then?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's interesting, isn't it? We all felt
before
didn't we?
Michael Carrick.
So you I would suggest Eddie don't chuck your job in.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
We all felt, didn't we, that when Newcastle got their big takeover by the Saudis, that they would really kick on, and they would be not only keeping their best players, but expanding their portfolio into sort of, the realms of world-class talent. And they just haven't been able to do it, have they?
No, well, the things that we don't know about and the rules that have been regulation, it just changed everything. So
yeah, absolutely. And one very quick one then for you, Cass. It's a massive game today at Anfield. Liverpool against Man City, of course. We know that's it's going to be huge for both clubs. But a lot of talk. Martin Lipton writing in The Sun on Sunday this morning about Dominic Szoboszlai and whether or not he could potentially succeed Virgil van Dijk as the next Liverpool captain. There's an interesting piece. He says, with Virgil van Dijk perhaps considering a future away from Merseyside this summer, Vice skipper Andy Robertson seemingly certain to be leaving, Szoboszlai standing as Liverpool's captain in waiting due to his fantastic performances, that's me paraphrasing, ready to assume that mantle for the best part of the next decade is stronger than ever. Do you think Szoboszlai will be a good captain for Liverpool one day?
Yeah, I wouldn't deny. I think Van Dijk will be there next year.
You do?
Yeah, I don't see him going. He's got another year to go. I'm not convinced that Liverpool want him out. I think they'll look at a young centre half, whether it's Iloni or just someone that's going to come in. They've made another signing as well.
They bought the young lad, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they'll keep Virgil's experience and he'll still be captain.
Newcastle fans, what do you think of that? 81089. Sam Stevens, thank you very much. Sam back with us very, very soon. Coming up, we're going to discuss that huge win for Brentford, and we'll look back on the winning start for England in the Six Nations. It's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning.
I think there's times as well, isn't there? You look at the problem at Sheffield Wednesday and how Barry Bannon's gone about it when he's been there and he's come out and spoke when members of staff aren't getting paid and stuff. There's times to come out, isn't there, and speak, but the problems that Spurs are having when they've got so many good players available still, just keep it in-house. Let Thomas Frank deal with that.
Yeah, for sure. Because Thomas Frank has obviously been asked about it. He was quite diplomatic in public. In private, would he have been fuming with his captain, you think?
I think so, yeah. I think he would have been fuming.
Does he do fuming?
He does sort of quiet fuming.
Scandinavian fuming.
Yeah, he doesn't shout and bawl, but he will drag you in there and have a word for sure.
Because you were with him for how long at Brentford? 3 years. 3 years. How many times did he blow his top during that period?
Once or twice in the dressing room, but for sure, there were times he would drag players into the office and let them know. But in his way, he's not a shouter and baller. But in his way, he's more than willing to sort things.
Well, what do you think about him making the step up to being the Tottenham manager? Because it is a step up, isn't it? I mean, although you look at the table and Brentford are 7th and Tottenham are in the bottom half of the table, there's more scrutiny.
Yep.
There's a lot more noise around the place because it's a bigger football club. So how do you think he's going to handle that?
I think he's got all the tools to handle it well. I think he has handled it well. Obviously, the results haven't gone so well at the minute, but I think he, looking at the game on Sunday against City, the players are still working really hard for him. Second half, especially, you could see they're still running for him. You kind of look at that as signs of, they're still with him at the minute. Obviously, like you say, the club is a lot bigger than Brentford at this moment in time.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? Well, the Super Bowl halftime show does exactly that. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest ever in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first edition of the Super Bowl was held in 1967 when the Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Los Angeles. Because of the sheer size of the event, organisers wanted to put on entertainment at halftime for the fans in the stadium. It was a display of marching bands, dancers and pure USA patriotism, and that was the theme that followed for years. In the 1980s, the Walt Disney Company got involved and we started seeing some interesting and questionable displays. But we got our first glimpse of halftime shows to come in '93 when none other than Michael Jackson stunned fans with his 15-minute medley of his own smash hits. When he walked out on stage, he had to wait for the crowd's cheers to die down for about 2 minutes before even starting his first song. Diana Ross, Gloria Estefan, Phil Collins all starred in their own shows, as did Aerosmith, who performed alongside NSYNC. Things got a little bit out of hand in 2004 when Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson produced perhaps the most famous or infamous wardrobe malfunction in history. Shows from the likes of Prince, Lady Gaga and Beyoncé are considered by critics as the best. To give you an idea of the scale of things, Rihanna's 2023 halftime show included roughly 800 people. These ranged from backing dancers to stage crew to camera operatives broadcasting to millions around the world. The whole stage for that show was built in roughly 8 minutes and was broken down and cleared away in the same time. The acts perform for free nowadays, even though the experts reckon it costs around $13 million to put on Rihanna's show. Artists know they'll rocket up the charts in the following weeks. Rihanna's average sales improved by 140% in the months following her performance. The Super Bowl halftime show will be a fixture in pop culture for years to come. So the question is, who next?
Good morning to you. How's it going? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Celtic striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Manchester United, fair play to them, piled more pressure on Thomas Frank's Spurs with victory at Old Trafford.
Dallows cross into the box, is out towards Šeško, and then Bruno Fernandes is there to stab it home at the Stretford end and secure all 3 points for Manchester United.
Never mind Thomas Frank. What about Frank from the United strand? Will he be getting his Barnet chopped on Tuesday after the West Ham game? 03717 22 3344. Do you think he will?
Oh, I would have said definitely a week or two back, but there's something about West Ham, like we've said about Manchester United, have changed. I think this will be a far more tricky game.
Well, thanks for ruining my fun. We'll assess all of yesterday's action.
It's no.
It's a no.
West Ham will get a draw.
Okay. Oh, God. Please, God, no. Including Arsenal. They go 9 points clear with a huge win over Sunderland.
Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. Victor Gyökeres off the bench at the double. This is another big step towards a first Premier League title in more than 20 years.
Unbelievable from Gyökeres. He needed that. And today you've got 2 massive games. A grudge match between Brighton and Palace, followed by a mouth-watering clash between Liverpool and Manchester City at Anfield. Pep Guardiola has called Liverpool away the most difficult game every season.
It was the toughest opening and a difficult place and stadium, and especially quality of the players, the managers. Been tough.
All the updates for you today on talkSPORT Game Day Live from 1:30. We've got a huge day ahead of you and we're building up to Super Bowl 60. It's also live for you here tonight from 11 o'clock. Good morning, hope you're doing all right. It's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Any more dad jokes for us before we crack on? I mean, do you lay this chat on your wife?
Now and again. The kids get it more than the missus, and they're just giving me the eye. Some of them, because you're a certain generation, don't even get it.
Yeah.
What's funny about that? Like, give you the look of, what does that mean? That is the real sort of custard pie from your own kids. That's the funny one. The sort of laughing. You then say to your missus, they don't understand what you've just said. You know, it's a joke, but it's a light-hearted way of saying things. And
so your youngest is 10. So
yeah. No, he wouldn't have a clue.
See, I remember being like 10 and just being like, Dad, man, shut up. Like, stop with these dad jokes. And now I think my dad's hysterical.
Yeah, there are. Of course, it's fun in lots of different ways when you make these dad jokes, but a lot of the kids don't. They just don't. They see it. They don't see it. They don't get it.
What is the world coming to, eh?
Yeah.
If you don't laugh at Cascarino's jokes,
well, I don't know about
your
that.
problem.
I laugh at my own jokes. That's all. That's all.
That's the main thing. Let's focus on the game last night. Dango Ouattara scored a dramatic late winner. Brentford ended their 92-year wait. I can't believe that, for victory against Newcastle at St James's Park. Hard enough for a club to rebuild after losing their manager and their captain like Brentford did last summer. But the Bees are flourishing under Keith Andrews. We spoke about him earlier on. After the game, the Brentford boss praised his team's bounce-back ability.
I think you always have to when you're here. So the nature of the stadium, the fans, the way that Eddie has the team set up, you've got to fight, you've got to show resilience, character, a calmness when the storm comes, and inevitably was going to. And I thought we showed phenomenal togetherness and spirit to overcome that and win the game.
Up to 7th in the Premier League. There was thoughts on relegation for them with Frank leaving.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Go on.
What did you say, 92-year?
92-year wait, if I've done the math.
Well, how many years do you reckon?
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's get some. Let's make it fair. How many times have they been in the same league at the top flight?
I know.
I bet it's only a few.
Yeah, but it's still a good start.
It just sounds good, doesn't it?
It sounds good.
Yeah.
92 years.
92-year wait. Yeah, they've been in the same league about 8 years.
Still a long time, though, even, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, fair play. Look, because what Keith Andrews has achieved, and watching Brentford yesterday, if you take the game in from the outset, Newcastle got the lead from a Sven Botman header, and that was as good as it got. Because after that, it was literally, I thought Matthias Janssen, Janat in midfield took control. And Keith Andrews did something quite smart and makes changes, little tweaks to his team. He switched Otero from the right side to the left side to go on Trippier to try and expose him. I mean, obviously Trippier's now 35. Otero's quick, dynamic. Yeah. And it's paid huge dividends for him. Yeah. He switched him to the left and he's got the goal. Tried to expose behind Trippier, which he did. And that's fair play to a manager who spotted something.
Somebody who'll be waking up feeling themselves this morning and buzzing with that result. Brentford writer and fan Nick Bruzon is with us. Good morning, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah. Come on, Nick, tell us. I mean, look, we go back to the summer and what Matthew Benham's decision with other people, I'm sure, at the football club has happened. No one would have expected Keith to do so well this year.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, to be fair, not even myself. We thought this was really, really going to be a season of adjusting and seeing what we could do, stay up. And he's just gone nuts. But, Benham has pulled another rabbit out of the hat. He's got Keith working miracles. He's mugged Newcastle up with Wizza. Another 55 million in the bank. Thank you very much. And the Bees are absolutely flying.
Yeah, and their performance yesterday, because the energy and pace, even when, I know Sharda didn't play yesterday, but I've watched a number of Brentford games this year, and then the energy alongside Thiago is just extraordinary with the pace.
Yeah, I mean, they are so fast. And now you see it in Keith's game, he's got so much more confident with the team and with the setup. And at the start of the season, it was very cautious and kind of playing through the middle quite a lot. And now he's using the width, and you've got Atara, you've got, as you say, Sharda, albeit he's not playing at the moment. The pace of Thiago for a big man, he can run like a freight train. And they're now using all areas of the pitch. They're running down the channels, and it's incredible to watch.
Yeah, it must be incredible being a Brentford fan, witnessing what you've done. I said earlier to Shebahn, the amount of centre forwards you've sold and replaced, like, it's been a breeze.
I know. I don't know how they do it. And everyone used to make fun of Benham when they started, stats this, stats that. But you look at the players that they found from nowhere, from the back end of the French League Two, from lower leagues in the UK, and he just keeps on doing it time and again. Yeah, it's amazing what's happening, and amazing how he does it. And, Thiago could be the best yet.
Looking ahead to then Thursday, live on talkSPORT, they've got Arsenal. There's no way they can cause a shock there, or can they?
Well, you say that. Look, we absolutely humped Manchester United at home. We've done a double over Newcastle. We've beaten Villa 3 times this season. Just never say never with this team. Yeah. They beat Arsenal their first ever Premier League game.
Okay.
Went top of the table for one night, but it was a great night.
Yeah. I mean,
nothing would surprise me.
Could hear it from the fans last night at St James's Park, which Cass has challenged us this morning on the stat of this 92-year wait for victory for Brentford at St James's Park. It turns out they've actually only played there 12 times.
In 92 years. I'm not taking anything away from Brentford, by the way.
You'll absolutely take that, won't you, Nick? You will.
I mean, to be fair, I don't care what happened last season, let alone 92 years ago. the simple fact of the matter is we've won back-to-back away games. They're on an absolute roll at the minute, and long may it continue.
Do you see yourselves creeping into those European places?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're talking potentially fifth slot for the Champions League, Brentford are, within a defeat of Liverpool today and going sixth in the table. It's just, it's there for the taking if they want to do it. The team are only getting better and better. They got used to each other. He's got the midfield absolutely ticking now. And ironically, with two of the players from the championship team still in Janel and Jensen, and they're in the form of their lives.
Right.
So you've got those two in the middle. You've got the experience of Henderson. Yarmoliak, who also makes up the midfield trio, is just the next one to watch. You've got the pace down the flanks. You've got a solid defence. Kelleher in nets is just superb. Why Liverpool let him go, but happy days.
Don't tell me that, because at the end of last season, I was like, Brentford have got a good goalkeeper coming now. Knew they got to sign a good goalkeeper. And I'd add in, Coyote, who's got the most, I'd say that he could throw it the furthest. Unreal, his throw-ins.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Coyote. I mean, everyone says Coyote, the throws. And it's true, he's got a great throw, but...
Great energy.
Absolute, the energy and the strength of the man. He must be an absolute nightmare to play against.
Yeah.
Because he will happily start from the right-hand side of the penalty box and just run diagonally across pitch all the way to the far corner. He is just immense. The strength, the power, let alone running into him if you're on the other side.
Yeah.
He's another one. I don't know how we've done it, but...
It's going
happy
well.
days.
Listen, hats off to them and to Keith Andrews as well, Nick. Happy for you this morning. Hopefully speak to you again soon. Nick Bruce on there, Brentford writer and fan. We'll see you again soon. Brentford versus Arsenal is live for you here on talkSPORT this Thursday night. And before I don't say it, it's just been on my mind for a long, long time. Fantastic cheekbones. What a bone structure Keith Andrews has got as well.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
Stating the obvious. Okay, coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, can Man City afford another slip up at Anfield today? Now the gap is 9 points.
It's just disrespectful. And how about you look at your own performances? I rate Romero. I do rate him as a defender. 5 goals this season as well. He's chipping in with his goals from centre half. But you haven't had the best of seasons. You cost your side on numerous occasions with poor defending. Just shut up and play football. Leave that to the manager to speak to the board about signings. It's none of your business. Fans will like it.
Captain.
Yeah, fans will like it. Okay, would you see an Arsenal captain come out and speak like that?
But Arsenal not in the same situation.
One of the things Thomas Frank said in that clip we just played is that Romero is ambitious. Can't have been that ambitious.
Well, he's won the World Cup.
He signed a new contract with Tottenham. If you're that ambitious, you don't do that. You back yourself to go and play for a big club. He was part of the team that finished 17th in the Premier League last year. He was described by our own Stuart Pearce as a liability in the previous meeting with Manchester United. He isn't that good a defender. I don't think he's that good a character. And I think he should have been stripped of the captaincy. This is not how a captain of a Premier League football club should be behaving.
Well, he's a Europa League winner and a World Cup
beat
final
the dog and
winner.
duck in the final.
Well, they didn't bring the dog and duck in the World Cup final, did they? They beat France. But
well, Sam, Jimmy Traore won the Champions League. Doesn't make him a legend of football, does it?
Saying he's a legend, he's just saying that he's not a bad footballer. You think he's overrated, and I think he's got.
So does Stuart Pearce. I'll take Stuart Pearce's view over mine.
I think he's got great qualities. I think he's just a little bit sometimes too eager, and sometimes his ego gets the better of him, and he wants to go and do everything instead of being disciplined.
There's the point that you've made. He's rash on the pitch. He gets too many bookings. He gets too many red cards. He gets caught out of position too often. And he's clearly overly emotional off the pitch. And you use the word ego there. Speaking of people who know what goes on in that Tottenham dressing room, there are too many egos. There are too many players there who feel they should be playing for far bigger clubs than Tottenham. And I think therein lies the
Tottenham
problem.
are a big club.
But when you're winless in 6 Premier League games, maybe some of these players that are like in post, Romero himself speaking out, concentrating, getting back-to-back wins.
It's all optics. Do you know what it is? It's nonsense. You're right. The fans will love it.
Rushes out to the right-hand side, has a man there, throws the interception at the 39-yard line, returning out to numbers 25, 20, Captaincy down to the 10, down to the 5, touchdown Eagles! He's got 2 blockers, he's going to go all the way, 10, 5, touchdown! And the rookie has picked off the superstar!
This one.
When pigeons cry. Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Celtic striker Tony Cascarino.
Prince went up scoring.
Yeah.
He was some. Did you ever seen Prince, Shebahn?
No.
No. He's one of them that I'd love to have seen.
Yeah. I remember the night that he passed away, covering the story at work and doing his obituary BT, putting it all together, just going through all the songs. I was like, wow, what a voice, incredible.
Purple Rain was one of my favourites by him.
He did the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, when he a bit like Michael Jackson, where his dancing was incredible. It was part of his act. It's just, he was another...
You're a showman.
Yeah, absolutely. Entertainer at the highest level,
Yeah, we've got the Super Bowl tonight, live on talkSPORT, Super Bowl 60. Can you guess the year that Prince did the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't know. I would have gone...
Stab in the dark here.
2007, 8-ish.
Holy macaroni. You're right, it's 2008, 2007.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you got that right. There you go. That was the year Indianapolis Colts defeated the Chicago Bears in Miami. Let's focus on Arsenal. They got the business done yesterday, defeating Sunderland 3-0 at the Emirates. This one now sees them 9 points ahead of Manchester City, who take on Liverpool today at Anfield. If City drop points today, Cass, it's all over in the title race, is it?
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, without going on about Arsenal, I think it's quite clearly you see is that they ain't going to drop many points. So if City do go to Anfield and win, of course they've still got a sniff of the title. But as the games are going down, we're now looking at Arsenal have got 13 games left. If they lose today and they go, 9 points behind I just can't see it.
Yeah.
They'll have a better goal difference as well. I know City score more goals than Arsenal, but I do think the goal difference will... their goals against column just as brilliant.
Looking at Manchester City and Aston Villa, they're level on points, 47 points. Man City looking to close the gap today. In terms of Aston Villa, dropping points yesterday with Bournemouth that ended 1-1. Do you think they've ruled themselves out of the title race?
I just don't think they got enough.
Injuries have hampered things.
Yeah, they have. And yesterday I thought they were quite light. Look, Bournemouth are a tricky team. The boy Krupi up front, he's only 19. Wow, Junior Krupi. He's so quick and he's energy, and for such a young player, there's a lot of potential in him. And we talked about Brentford and recruitment, Bournemouth likewise. They're a dangerous side, and I thought Villa were found wanting yesterday. Morgan Rogers gets a decent goal, but in general, I think it was a hard. The midfield of Villa has been decimated with injury, and that's causing them a problem.
Such key players, also, and big characters that are missing on the pitch. I still see them as favourites for the Europa League, and it would be crazy if they won the title this season. Aston Villa, I mean, it's been an incredible story this season. Next season they'll be saying, okay, let's challenge, let's go for it. But this season they can still win a trophy, and it's Unai Emery's trophy.
Yeah, well, he's done an amazing job, and the squad, the players have been exceptional for Villa this year, whether it's been in Europe and it's been in the Premier League. They've kept it going. I mean, we're looking at this result as if they've lost. They haven't. They've got a draw down at Bournemouth against a good side. Bournemouth are a dangerous side at home. They're a dangerous side, full stop. I've seen them enough this year to know that they don't give you anything. They're another high-energy team.
Let me take you to fourth place in the table. Manchester United, 3 points behind Villa and Manchester City. 13 games left for them this season. Can they apply a little bit of pressure in the title race?
Apply pressure? What do you mean? As in challenge it? What, challenge itself?
No, I don't think challenge. I mean, in terms of...
Well, they can... Of course, they can change the outcome of certain teams they play against. And they're capable now. We've seen Man United beat City and Arsenal within a week. So they're a capable... This isn't the Manchester United under Amorim. It's quite clear. It's a completely different team. It's a completely different energy of team. And the direction, the purpose they play in will cause teams problem.
You wonder what would have happened had Carrick come in a little bit earlier. Just even a couple of weeks
Well,
ago.
in hindsight, it's easy. But he's made incredible change. Not as in loads of changes on the personnel and football team, but changing positions of players that are now benefiting the team. Brian Mbeumo didn't play down the middle yesterday. He switched from different positions, but played on the left predominantly. Look, they're just a different, and also the adrenaline and the enthusiasm now has changed. It feels like they're really happy on the pitch. There's not the grumblings from the terraces. They feel like the crowd are with them.
Yeah, it does feel happy.
Yeah, there's a momentum going there.
Speaking of Manchester City, I mean, you can never rule them out of a title charge. You can't. But the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast asks if Pep Guardiola still has the Midas touch. Man City through to the League Cup final, but they've won just one of their last 6 Premier League games. Is there a bigger problem there? Could Pep Guardiola be headed for the exit? Ollie Klink is joined by talkSPORT's man in Manchester, former Sunderland fullback Mickey Gray.
It's really strange if you look back at the whole of Pep's career at Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Man City. He's always found a way, or he's always kind of found something a little bit special that teams have never really been able to work out. I think, he's tried the inverted fullback. He's tried a false 9 at times where they went on to win the Premier League when Sergio Aguero had a long-term injury. But this time around, I think he's scratching his head, and we've seen that a few times. We've seen him scratch his head a few times, and I don't think he can come up with an answer of something that anybody else has not done. And I think that's frustrating him, because well, what can you say Pep is like? He's like somebody we've never seen before. He wants to come up with something special that somebody's never really worked out before. And I think this season in the Premier League, we've certainly seen it. And I think at times when you see some of his results this season, I think that frustration's boiled over with him.
It's a fair discussion. I mean, if you're going to the game today, you're looking ahead to this one, City fans, it's a decent way to kind of build up to it and get a flavour of how things are looking. And we don't know discussions behind closed doors, but say there is the possibility that the players have got wind that Pep Guardiola might be leaving this summer. Do you think that may have affected things?
Not really. I don't remember being at a club and thinking how much of a change. Yeah, we lost managers and you can be upset by it, but they've got a hell of a squad of players. They've been affected defensively, certainly. They're not as good. They've had a lot of injuries in those positions. He's had a lot of change in fullback areas. Ant Nouri's come in. We've seen change all over that back line. We've seen Mark Gay come in now. Semenya is going for powerful players. And all the teams, you think recruitment around the Premier League, so many teams have pace and power now that it's slightly different and have a little bit more of a braver attitude when they take on City.
You can download this now on the talkSPORT daily podcast. talkSPORT app is where you can listen to it. Building up to Liverpool versus Manchester City today, 4:30. The updates are on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss a winning start for England in the Six Nations. The less said about Scotland, the better. Cheers. Bye-bye.
You don't mean that, man.
Okay, stop
man,
shouting at me.
let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Talking about my peoples and all that. It's hard to believe a black man in a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the documentary and everything, the story come out, I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him that can know. I don't, what? I don't about that.
I'm not a Fury fan.
I don't about it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
And with that, he was out of there. How on earth do you reflect on that? What was he going on about?
Well, look, I mean, at the time, I was a little bit embarrassed because I thought the show's coming off the rails and it was a big show and Deontay Wilder's a big name, so I'm sitting there thinking I'm a bit embarrassed by it. Then I thought, he's a bit of a tit. And then I thought, is he on drugs or something, or is this theatrics? And then I just came around to the conclusion that he's not right. He's not well. And all this ayahuasca stuff it's probably worked in reverse. I thought it was supposed to make you calm and zen-like. Listen, I didn't provoke Deontay Wilder by asking him a question that he didn't want to answer. I asked him a question about something he'd said, not something I was trying to engineer into clickbait. He called Tyson Fury a cheat. He's sitting in England. Tyson Fury, in some people's minds, is a legend in boxing. And so you're sitting in England. I thought, not unreasonable. Someone else asked him the question, and he didn't like it.
Good morning. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. I thought, what club to mention?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Marseille's good. Emma Raducanu's hopes of her first title since her US Open triumph in 2021 ended in disappointment. She was trounced by Romanian Sorana Kirstaya in the Transylvania Open final. And Brazilian teenager Ryan scored his first goal in English football. Bournemouth drew 1-1 with Aston Villa, who missed the chance to go second in the Premier League. And it was a very busy day yesterday in the EFL. Here's how it all sounded on the talkSPORT network.
There goes the full-time whistle, and Derby's home hoodoo continues, and Ipswich Town go within 4 points of the top two in the Championship at Pride Park on talkSPORT 2. Derby County 1, Ipswich Town 2.
We've just seen a squirrel run all the way from inside the Bristol City half, right down the touchline, along the byline, and it went in the goal as well. Bristol City up to 8, 1 point off the top 6. Hull 2, Bristol City 3.
Birmingham 2, Leicester 1. Jay Stansfield has put the Blues back in front against the 10-man visitors.
But there's not enough time to take it, and the league leaders have dropped points again in the race for promotion. Coventry 0, the 10 men of Oxford 0.
I don't know, Cass, if you saw the game yesterday at Hull. The squirrel that came on the pitch. So cute.
Yeah.
I love a squirrel.
What, a grey squirrel or a red squirrel?
Well, I've never seen a red squirrel in real life.
Well, I thought grey squirrels were more popular in Scotland.
Yeah.
I think way more than down south.
What, grey squirrels?
No, red squirrels.
Never seen one?
Oh, right.
Never seen one.
I thought they were more common.
I think it's more redheads that are more popular.
The grey squirrels taken over, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Big style. But I thought there was a number of red squirrels in Scotland.
They're pure riddled, aren't they? Like, they're not hygienic, but they are cute. You just want to touch their tails. Yeah.
They can fly out them trees, can't they?
I just love watching squirrels. Like I say, need to get out some more. Any bits for you standing out yesterday in the Championship?
Oh, Millwall's result. I've got to mention Millwall's result at Wrexham, because that was... I bumped into a couple of Millwall fans at London Bridge yesterday after I finished the show. Have literally grabbed me as I'm coming out of a shop to buy
getting your porridge.
breakfast.
Getting your porridge.
And there are two Millwall lads, and they were, we're off to Wrexham. Right? And like, what a good result. Phil Parkinson's Wrexham are a good side. Done really well, and they've gone there and got a big win for them. So keeps them in the hunt for the playoffs. And Coventry dropped points yesterday again, didn't they? They've had a really difficult patch, Coventry.
Point between them and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough in second.
They go top, Middlesbrough. They play Monday against Sheffield United away, don't they?
There you go.
It's a big game there.
There you go. Absolutely constant. talkSPORT 2, you're home of the EFL, so keep with us to stay across it all. Let's focus on the Six Nations yesterday. It's time for a bit of this.
What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment?
Oh, he's a really, really tough, hard guy. You don't want to mess with our Alfie Reynolds. Yes,
That's silly. That's Scylla, isn't it?
That is Scylla.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's that voice, didn't she?
sing like that, yeah. Oh, you just think it's surprise, surprise. But she can actually
God,
really
no, she
sing
could
too.
really belt it.
She could.
Yeah.
What a legend Scylla was.
Yeah.
Speaking of legends, Alfie Reynolds is with us now. Good morning, tough guy. How are you?
Morning, Shebahn. Morning, Cass. How are you both?
Yeah, good, Alfie. Yeah, I mean, after Thursday night and watching the French dismantle Ireland, and then you see what happened with England against Wales yesterday, they look like the only two teams to fight this year's Six Nations are the French and the English. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I mean, certainly off the back of the opening weekend, as you say, France very impressive in beating Ireland, who are pretty disappointing on Thursday night in the Championship opener. And yesterday, England absolutely dismantling Wales. Wales were poor. Wales were really poor. We expected England to win, but I think even Welsh fans maybe hoped for a little bit more. They were ill-disciplined. They didn't execute well at all. But credit to England, they went out, they did the job, they did what they were expected to do. And yeah, coming into the Championship, France are most people's favourites. They're the favourites with the bookies. They're the defending champions. And then it was England that people are speaking about as being the next team that could potentially challenge them. And on the basis of the opening weekend, it certainly looks that way. The only, I suppose, caveat I would say is things change in the Six Nations very, very quickly. There are usually upsets. There are usually things that turn the whole narrative around just on one match week. So you never know. A team like Ireland, maybe they could play their way into it. But yeah, France and England certainly look like the best two. On the opening weekend.
without double checking, I'm pretty sure, Alfie, haven't England got to go to France in Paris? They've got to play them on the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So hopefully, a lot of other nations won't be hoping this, but in terms of the narrative of this championship, if we get to Paris, it's the final game of the final weekend, 9 p.m. kickoff in Paris. If both France and England are undefeated, potentially a Grand Slam decider, certainly would be awesome if it was a title decider. I mean, yeah, that would be an incredible occasion if we got to that point.
Who do you think looks stronger, by the way, England or France? I mean, both of them really showing their mettle, but who do you think looks like the better side?
Yeah, I think you have to say France at this moment in time, partly because Wales are the weakest team in this competition. It's not England's fault, as we say. They went out and they did what they had to do and were expected to do. But, France, I think, have just got such a good all-round squad. Antoine Dupont is back. He missed periods of last year because he had a really bad knee injury. He's obviously so key to them. And I think also in a championship that is so often fine margins, I think the fact that France play England at home on the final weekend, that could make a difference. You don't see too many teams, if they are going for the title on the final weekend, if that match is at home, you don't see many teams lose that. So I think it's really tight, but I think you've got to give it to the French at this moment in time.
Alfie, tell us what's so disappointing about the Welsh, because many years they've had great sides, and you could probably say they've still got a lot of good players in this Welsh squad, but to be beaten in this manner, that's a bad reflection on Welsh rugby.
Yeah, I mean, how long have we got, in all honesty, Cass? I mean, it's 2 wins now in their last 22 Six Nations games. The sport is in turmoil off the pitch. There are issues with the union. They're apparently looking to cut one of the regional teams, which looks like it's the Ospreys. There's a lot of infighting. They're on this absolutely dreadful run. I agree with you. I think you still look at the Wales squad and it doesn't look as bad as a team that only wins 2 in 22. You look at Lewis Rees-Zammit coming back. He was at fullback yesterday. You look at Dowie Lake, the captain, who I thought fronted up really well in tough circumstances after the game. I think they've probably lost just all confidence. I think it is a side totally devoid of confidence. There are players in that side who don't know how to win at international level. Certainly against a top team, they don't know how to win. And as I say, the most frustrating thing for Wales yesterday is, yes, they were expected to lose, but I was thinking ahead of the game, can you go to Twickenham and give yourself something positive, show heart and spirit and cause England issues? Well, they conceded 10 penalties in 20 minutes. The game was done by about 20, 30 minutes. And there's no positivity, and their next game at home next week on Sunday is against France. So, yeah, it's a really tough, really bleak start to the championship for the Welsh.
Oh, well, you talked about being optimistic in a performance. We have to mention Italy beating Scotland.
We don't actually. That's all we've got time for. Alfie, we're losing you.
I was thinking there. I was like, Shebahn, you've been very quiet with the Scotland result yesterday.
I'm a bit shocked. Honestly, I thought it was really a bit shocking. I think they all are too. Now there's chat this morning about Gregor Townsend and his role as the gaffer there. I mean, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, I know from a Scottish point of view, you won't feel this way, but I've got to say, I think if you're looking at it across the 3 opening games of the Six Nations, thank goodness for Italy, Scotland, because France, Ireland was one-sided, England, Wales was one-sided, neither of them great games. Thank goodness we got one that went down to the wire that was really tight. I mean, incredible, like biblical rain in Rome for people that haven't seen it. Like some of the most ridiculous conditions you're ever going to see. From a Scotland point of view, I mean, it just puts them totally on the back foot. There was already a lot of, I suppose, negativity around the team because of the way in which they finished last year, where they weren't that good in November. They let a couple of games slip, didn't they? Plus, you've got the news the reports in the newspapers that Gregor Townsend, the Scotland head coach, is going to be joining Newcastle Red Bulls at the end of the 2027 World Cup when his Scotland contract ends. He's kind of denied that, but there's just this real sense of, I think, frustration, like time's almost up for Townsend. I think fans are losing their patience. Their feeling is this is a team that aren't progressing anymore. They're stagnating. And that result just does absolutely nothing to change those thoughts, really. It wouldn't shock me at all if, maybe not during the Six Nations, but by the end of the Six Nations or shortly after this Six Nations, if results continue to go in this way, whether Gregor Townsend does depart Scotland. I think we could be looking at that. The one thing I would say, Shebahn, to give you hope is I don't think Scotland's defeat to Italy yesterday has any bearing on the Calcutta Cup next week, England coming to Edinburgh. I think that fixture is massive for both of these teams. And Scotland are still a good side. They're in a really bad place, but I still think they could cause England a lot of problems in what is no doubt going to be such a hostile atmosphere. So there's maybe still a bit of hope for Scotland, but without question, that was a terrible result.
Well said, Alfie. Quick word for, Ollie Chesham, starman yesterday, but Henry Arndel's taken all of the back pages today. He's all over the news. He was brilliant.
Yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for Ollie Chesham. I agree, Shebahn. I thought Ollie Chesham was immense. Has developed into a top quality second row. He didn't get the man of the match. George Ford got the official man of the match. Henry Arundel is going to get all the headlines because he scored a first half hat-trick, his first start for England since the bronze medal match of the 2023 World Cup. I think England are in a great spot at the moment. They've won 12 games in a row. Henry Arundel coming through and playing like that is just adding to the strength and depth that they've built over the last year to 18 months. And Steve Borthwick has great options. He has great options. He has a bench that can come on and make an impact. Look, it doesn't necessarily mean England are going to win the Six Nations because, as I say, they've got a tough away trip against Scotland. They host Ireland, despite Ireland losing to France. I think can still be a very, very tough game for England. And then they've got France away on the final weekend. So they've got some really tough fixtures. But I think England are in as good a place as they could hope to be after 1 week of a Six Nations campaign.
Alfie, we love it. Thank you so much. Our Six Nations correspondent there, Alfie Reynolds. Yeah, outstanding from Henry Arndale. Just a hat-trick inside 36 minutes, 11 tries and 12 tests now for the Bath player. So brilliant stuff from England. That was some result for them yesterday. And if Alfie points out, you're right, the Calcutta Cup, it can change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay, coming up next on the Weekend Breakfast, we'll be joined by an Olympic gold medal winning figure skater to discuss the opening weekend of action out the Winter Games.
Let's go to Joe, who's a Liverpool fan. All right, Joe?
All right, Joe, boy.
You all right, lads? All right,
all right, Joe, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I've gone for a left winger, and I've gone for this player because if it's not your night, he'll pick your pockets again and again and again, and it's the pub fruit machine.
Oh, the old fruit machine.
Mate, the back line, we've got a doorman, we've got carpet and a fruit machine. Mate, this is the stiffest.
He wants him as a left winger.
Oh, you said left wing? I thought you said left back.
Fruit machine, left wing.
Oh, he's not getting past anyone.
What, the fruit machine?
I mean, modern day wingers, you know, they're quite tall, lanky. I mean, look at Cody Gakpo, for example.
Yeah, but I wouldn't describe Cody Gakpo as a fruit machine.
I mean, you pick your pocket.
You wouldn't, would you?
Oh, the slot machine.
Yeah, oh, the old slot. Oh, see, you might change. Yeah,
The fruit machine, though.
No, wait, listen, I'm having him. I'm not sure he's a left winger, mate.
Well, yeah.
It don't strike me. If I said to you, who are you playing that wide left? And I said the fruit machine, you go, who's he getting past?
Where are we thinking for the fruit machine? Because I like it. I feel like the fruit machine needs to be in there because he's a staple part of a pub.
You stick him in front of the back four.
You want to play him CDM? Why? Because he's
picking pockets.
Picking pocket.
There's a little bit of that going on.
So we got a fruit machine in the seat.
He's like Yaya Toure, isn't he? It's Yaya Toure because he's not a Kante.
Casado? He's a bit of a Casado.
Oh, well, Yaya's like a big old unit, right?
Mascherano, the fruit machine, picture pocket.
Whoever, mate, right? But he's not a left winger. The fruit machine's not left wing. I think here's what we need. Right. We need a little bit of
We
need a little bit of movement.
We need a bit of.
So we've got right back the coaster.
We've got the coaster at right back.
He ain't going nowhere. We've got carpet in the doorman, and in front is a fruit machine.
Yeah, and the condom machine in goal.
Mate, I wouldn't mind taking it. At the minute, if I saw that back,
Morning to you. How's your Sunday going? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. We've been talking about, why are we talking about animals? Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, yeah.
And then Cass goes, oh, my first pet was a rabbit. And I was like, oh, what was his name? And he's like, can't remember. How could you forget your
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but you don't forget your first.
No, I remember having a budgie called Sammy, but the rabbit, I can't remember its name.
Poor rabbit.
I could just say Thumper.
Yeah. But you know when you're asked a security question, the first one is your pet's name, your first pet's name.
Oh, I wouldn't
You've managed to forget that?
No, can't remember what it was. I was only a young boy, I was about 6. I can't remember what it was called at all.
Poor rabbit, I feel like he was neglected.
I don't think he lived very long.
Forgetful.
If I remember, remember that, but I don't think he lasted too long.
R.I.P. Thumper. Some of your headlines this morning. Scotland are facing a washout of a Six Nations campaign, suffering a disappointing opening loss to Italy in a rain-soaked Rome. It was belting down, by the way. Everton defeated Fulham 2-1 at Craven Cottage thanks to a late-on goal from Bernardino. And Bournemouth held Aston Villa at the Vitality to a 1-1 draw thanks to a brilliant second half equaliser from Brazilian teenage sensation Ryan. That was after Morgan Rogers had given Villa the lead. Unai Emery was asked how confident he was with finishing high in the table with the likes of United, Chelsea and Liverpool edging that bit closer.
We must be resilient, we must be consistent, but we know the power of the teams. Arsenal, City, and behind us, but they are of course pushing Manchester United and Chelsea and Liverpool. Of course, they are contenders to be in front of us, but we are going to try to fight with them.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Well, look, Odegaard didn't play yesterday for Arsenal, so Havertz went into midfield instead of Eze. Mikel Arteta's got a lot of choice there. You know, we're not talking now. He's got Havertz that could play forward. He's got Gabriel Jesus back. You've got Gyökeres. So you think of that, the midfield, the difference. Villa can't do that, especially with the injuries they've got.
Arsenal have been building a squad to win for years.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the fact that Aston Villa are where they are in the table has been sensational. And don't get me wrong, they've got a decent squad, but the players that they're missing due to injury at this stage of the season.
How many clubs can seriously do what Arsenal have done with the investment?
Yeah.
You know, Eze, 50-odd million. Havertz, when they bought it for Chelsea, 65 million. Jesus coming from City, probably around 45, 50 million at the time. Don't know all the fees, but what I can say is that they have choice. They can change things around.
Do you think Man United will finish above them?
Against Villa? No, I think Villa have got enough to keep them at bay, but it's getting closer.
I think we'll finish above them.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Look, it's going to be. I think United are capable of doing that, of course. But Villa, I think they've been hurt way more than most clubs because they cannot. You know, we talk about Newcastle and they can't invest. Villa have had a similar issue. They've had to do loan deals last summer, not this window. They've had to do it last window when they brought Rashford in and Asensio. They've had to bring in players to try and cover the lack of positions that have been affected.
Fascinating times. Don't forget all the action coming up on talkSPORT this week from the Premier League. A really fascinating week ahead, isn't it?
Yeah, the big weekend there.
We're talking earlier on about Man United going to the London Stadium to face West Ham. Will Big Frank be getting his Barnet chopped? That's what so many people seem to be talking about. Not like, will United finish in the Champions League places? Will United Strand get his haircut? Seems to be the most important thing. Anyway, it was good chat. I actually DM'd him this morning trying to get him on the show.
Yeah.
He's so popular, it's crazy.
Oh, wow.
But no thanks, don't need your talkSPORT. Bye. Okay, winter games. Let's focus on what's going on. Day 2 in Milan Cortina. We've already witnessed some amazing events, especially the figure skating. I mean, it's jaw-dropping stuff. The British pair, Lila Fair and Lewis Gibson, soundtracked by the Spice Girls. Their routine left us in awe about the difficulty involved in performing routines on ice in front of the eyes of the world at the Winter Games. Somebody who knows all about that is 1980 gold medal winning figure skater Robin Cousins is with us now. Good morning, Robin. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Robin.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good. I mean, what have you made of it all so far and the performances?
Incredible. I think this is going to be a fairly historic games from our sports point of view. The level of competition is ridiculously high. We have potential history-making performances to come, maybe one even this evening with Ilya Malinin, the American. And it's going to be, I'm very happy to be sitting on the other side of the boards as a BBC pundit and watching, because put it into perspective, internationally, novice ladies, girls aged 9 to 12 are required to do just to compete internationally what I did when I won the Olympics all those years ago. The sport has grown and it's fantastic. I suppose my only disappointment is how spread out everything is. So we will be glued to the figure skating and short track, which are happening here in Milan. But I really would love to have had the opportunity to go and see some of the other sports and watch other people have fun in their chosen field of play.
Robin, today we've got curling, cross-country skiing and snowboarding. So a lot of excitement and a lot of opportunity for people to make a name for themselves in their discipline.
Absolutely. And I think that's the one thing the Olympics really does drive home, is that it's a unique experience. People forget, we as athletes will spend 3 years of our life training and preparing and hoping that you are within an Olympic cycle, that you get that opportunity to sort of peak at an Olympic Games. I was very fortunate. I made my Olympic debut 50 years ago. Nobody remembers me then, but they do remember John Curry winning. My teammate won in Innsbruck, gold medal in the men's figure skating, and that was so helpful to me to sort of be able to see how he worked and how he played himself out in those games. So 4 years later, for me in Lake Placid, I kind of had a feeling of what it was going to be all about. And for those athletes that are feeling this for the first time, and a lot of our Team GB athletes, certainly the figure skaters, the joy on the faces of just being able to participate, that's the important thing. And it's always great to know that once you're an Olympian, you're always an Olympian. You're never a former. So, part of it is, yes, let's see who's going to be on podiums. The other part is the human interest stories of those people who have what they've had to do to get there. And that's also very important.
Robin, look, everything evolves and ice skating would be no different. And you know that discipline exceptionally well. Tell us how you see ice skating today than it was in your day, as in the scoring and the method of getting a higher score and taking on even more difficult routines.
Yeah. It's, as I say, it's changed a lot, and specifically what the men are doing with quadruple jumps and multiple. As I say, Malinin does 6. He might even get to do 7. He has now added a quadruple axel, which is incredible because it's not 4 revolutions, it's 4.5 revolutions because it has a forward takeoff. And he just rotates so calmly and so easily in the air. I know there's a finite thing between getting it right and getting it wrong, and that's part of our sport. But as I say, what they're doing now was science fiction in my day. There people were doing a triple axel. That was amazing. I could do one, didn't do it to compete. And then, I always say it only takes one person to go, oh, I'll have a go at that. And it can be disastrous, but people just need to see one person. And then they say, well, if they can try it, I'll try it. And I think that happens across the sports. When somebody breaks a barrier on a stopwatch, someone else thinks, okay, my job is to do better than that. Somebody does a triple axel, or somebody does one quad. Okay, I'm going to do 2, I'm going to do 3. And I suppose the best thing for me in watching is that you could have top 5 from different nations all doing the same elements on the ice, but in a completely different way. And everybody has their own version. And I think what I love about this championship is that the diversity of styles out there doing their own thing. It was always, for me, not what you do, it's how you do it. And this is really coming to play. You ask about technicalities and scoring. The scoring, we're no longer on the 6-0. It's a point scoring. You know, every element has a base value.
Mm-hmm.
And then the judges, they call them the quality control, are now looking, okay, that was really good. I'm going to give that +4. +5 is the max. Or actually, that wasn't very good. I'm going to go -2. And you can gain or lose 10 points on one element if you get it right and if it's perfect. So that's a lot easier, I think, to follow these days. But again, rule changes happen all the time because your sport changes, and we're not the only ones that have that issue. But it's a good issue to have, and it's a great talking point.
Well, Robin, listen, it's all over my algorithm. I can't stop watching these performers from the figure skaters, especially Team GB. They've been unbelievable. Yeah. So thanks for taking the time to come on with us today. I must say, you mentioned 50 years ago when you burst onto the scene at the Olympics. You look unbelievable. I need what you're having. I need more ice. All right, Robin.
That's the thing I always say, being around the ice, it keeps the skin nice and tight.
It does indeed. You look great. Robin Cousins there. Thank you so much for coming on. Olympian himself. I mean, I've got my wee girl. She wants to be good at everything.
Yeah.
And I was showing her the figure skaters yesterday, and she's like, Mummy, how do I do that? And I went, oh man, wrong person to ask. I have no idea how they can dance like that, move like that, turn like that, get height like that, and do it on ice. It's just, they defy the odds. It's incredible. Good luck, Team GB. Coming up next on the weekend breakfast, we'll turn our attention to today's game. Liverpool versus Man City, and Brighton take on Palace.
Arnie was talking about style of play rather than trophies. It's great to win trophies looking good, but I don't think Liverpool fans will put up with not winning any trophies, or it'll be hard for them. You've got to win something.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And you know, with the money that they've spent as well, I mean, you've always got that thing, which is you've got to win something. You rightly say. I think that with them is that, you know, good result against Newcastle. Yeah, take it all day long. But as I say, we're still looking at, you know, what's it going to be at the weekend. Whereas, as we know with last year, it was like win, win, win all the time. And the thing about it as well, they've had lots of injuries, Liverpool. But listen, you know, it happens to everybody, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark, where do you sit with Arne Slot? Obviously, doing really well in the Champions League. Looking to have maybe picked up a bit of form again. Where do you sit on it all?
He's one of those who's I think you know when you see his press conferences and you look at him, I think he talks a bit too much, which probably sounds ridiculous, but it's what like you have to consider with the previous manager, who was obviously absolutely brilliant, and it's difficult in times to kind of follow him. But we won the league last year, and it's always difficult the next year to win the league again. And he's had that, but he's had lots of injuries. I just feel if you ask the majority of Liverpool supporters, they'll tell you that when he changes it, it doesn't exactly make it any better at the moment. So.
Ever fancied having a beer in the stands while watching your team at the Emirates? Well, this season you actually can, and not just there. You can do it at Anfield, Goodison Park, Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford too. But hold on, I hear you cry. Isn't drinking alcohol in the stands at Premier League games illegal? You're right, for the men's game it still is, but the Women's Super League is doing something different. And here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. From fan riots at the 1980 Scottish Cup final to the Heysel disaster years later, things were unsafe and the consequences were disastrous. Then in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed, especially since other sports don't face the same restrictions. If you're popping down to watch the Red Roses roar at Twickenham, feel free to grab a pint on the way to your seat. Wandering down to Lords to catch some boundary bashing? Fill your boots with G&Ts. But if you were hoping to cheers your club's promotion to the Premier League with a Prosecco in hand from pitchside, sorry, it'll have to be tea or Bovril. In 2021, it looked like things might finally change. The government commissioned the Crouch Report, a fan-led review into football governance. One recommendation was to allow League Two and National League clubs to lift the alcohol ban to boost matchday revenue. But nothing came of it. Authorities still weren't convinced that fans could be trusted. And then in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL 2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. Now, the women's game is raising the bar, literally. Select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move, showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good morning, how's it going? Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Manchester United made it 4 in a row against Spurs at Old Trafford.
Dallows cross into the box, is aimed towards Šeško, and then Bruno Fernandes is there to stab it home at the Stretford end and secure all 3 points for Manchester United.
Have you seen that gif on WhatsApp where Homer Simpson goes back into the bush to hide himself?
I think I have, yeah.
That's Ruben Amorim watching that game yesterday. Manchester United looking for a good spot in the Champions League next season. 03717 223344 is the number. Today, 2 massive games. A grudge match between Brighton and Palace. Oliver Glasner says he's hoping to get the best out of his record signing, Jurgen Strand Larsen.
We trust in him, and I remember Chippy, I think, never scored more than 5 goals before I arrived, and now he's one of the top scorers in the Premier League.
Seagulls versus the Eagles. That should be fun to watch. After that, a mouth-watering clash. Who'd win in a street fight, a seagull or an eagle?
Obvious.
Seagulls are mental these days.
Eagle. Absolutely.
Eagle all day. Right, okay. Well, maybe that's a sign of what's to come in the game. After that, a mouth-watering clash between Liverpool and Man City at Anfield. Pep Guardiola has called Liverpool away the most difficult game of the season.
It was the toughest opening and a difficult place and stadium, and especially quality of the players, the managers. Been tough.
Looking forward to this one. Massive day ahead. We're building up to Super Bowl 60. That's live here on talkSPORT tonight. But now it's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. What if you go home, have a nap, watch the games, have a Red Bull and then stay up and watch the Super Bowl or listen to it on talkSPORT, even better.
Yeah, I'd love to say I could do that. I'm not sure I'll see that through.
I'd like to have...
If it wasn't so long, and look, don't get me wrong, it's done brilliantly. You know, whether you're listening to on radio or whether you're watching on TV, it's done brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it is entertaining, absolutely. But it is long as well, isn't it? The Super Bowl takes what?
Hours.
4.5 hours,
yeah.
5 hours?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I'd like to do a watch along of you just taking in a Bad Bunny set and just, giving us your thoughts on the halftime show.
I'd fast forward the halftime show.
True. Don't do that. Don't do that now. Right, let's chat football happening today. Brighton and Hove Albion take on Palace. Both sides are comfortably cleared of the relegation zone, but each will be desperate to build momentum as they look to keep their fading European ambitions alive. 40-year-old James Milner will equal the record for the most Premier League appearances if he features against Palace this afternoon. Milner could join Gareth Barry on 653 appearances after making his debut at 24 years old. Brighton boss Fabian Hürzeler says it's a real pleasure to work with him.
James Milner is a role model. He's a great character to work with. I think that will be a special thing for him, but he's focused on the ambitions from the club as well. He wants to be always successful like he was his whole life. He is a driver of this winning mentality.
James Milner's nephew, Fabian Hürzeler there. Yeah, you must just look up to him like, God, you've done this for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, we'd have admiration for him because also, I mean, he's probably spot on, but he's a super pro, James Milner. That's why he's playing till, 40 years old? There is a reason.
You ever wonder if you get to James Milner and you go, if he doesn't agree what the gaffer's saying,
I don't think
it's difficult because of age? You wonder if
I wouldn't imagine. I think he would try, even if he thought the manager was saying something wrong, I still think within a dressing room he'd try and aid the manager, help the manager.
Looking forward to it today. All the updates on Game Day Live here on talkSPORT. Let's get into it in more detail with Gordon Smith, former Brighton striker and Rangers Director of Football. Good morning, Gordon. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Hi, Gordon.
Good morning, Tony.
Very good morning to you, Gordon. Good to see you. What's your thoughts on this Milner situation? I mean, fair play to him going at it for this long.
Oh, it's incredible to play that long because when I was playing, I came back from playing in Switzerland and I was 34 years of age. And I had the offers over in Switzerland and also in Germany, but no one was interested in me because I was 34. They said I was too old and the size for signing me at that age. And yet players nowadays can play right into 40 plus. Look at Ronaldo, over 40, and he's going to be playing the World Cup.
Yeah, I'd add to that, Gordon. You've got to be very fortunate, haven't you, with injuries as well? And look, I know James has had injuries, but I mean, there are certain injuries that players have. I got to 38. I was lucky. I had one knee issue when I was at Chelsea that kept me sort of out of the side for about 18 months. I kept having operations and I had 3. But injury is so important to players.
Factor, Tony, there's no doubt about it, that if you can get through your career and not have any serious injuries, then you can play to a fair age. I was still fit. I was playing in Switzerland for Basel, and I came back and I had other offers over there, but I came back to continue my career in Britain and couldn't get any interest just because of my age. And I kept them, give me a test, a fitness test against your players, and then judge me. They said, it's nothing to do with your fitness, it's your age. That's play me, but it's great to see any player that can actually play that length of time within their career because it's a real memorable situation.
So tell us, what have you made of Brighton this season? They've had many ups and downs, but they've still got a decent enough side. They're on 31 points at the moment, so they're doing okay. Do you think there's more for Mertzler and his team in the running?
They've slipped back a bit actually because I was looking at the situation and they've only won one of the last 8 league games, sort of thing. So they won that. One match, and I think that's been a bit disappointing because before they were up challenging up near the top of the league in previous seasons, but this season it's not been the best. They are in a pretty safe position though, and they say they're playing Palace. It was the strangest thing when I went down to play for Brighton. I couldn't believe it when I found out that Palace was actually a derby match. I was like, wow, derby? Why is that a derby? Because I've been used to playing as you have been as well, Rangers Celtic games, which is.
Honestly, Gordon, that's the type of thing that'll have the listeners just losing their marbles right now. They're texting us this morning like, stop calling it a derby, it's a grudge match, we hate each other, and then you're so used to Rangers Celtic it feels totally different.
right, Shebahn. I was shocked to find this was a derby, but the thing about it is, at every level they need a derby game. They need that kind of grudge match and excitement going with the supporters. They've got to have somebody that they like to play against in order to win and feel better about it than a normal game. And I think that's why they probably both teams had to search. I mean, I know it is the Seagulls versus the Eagles.
A battle of the birds.
That was the thing they threw at me when they said this is why it's a derby. But I was shocked by it. But I did enjoy playing in them because there was that level that you get from a derby match where, as you say, grudge is probably the kind word to use. There can be a bit of hatred at times too.
Yeah. Speaking of which, then you mentioned hatred. Rangers steadying up against with Danny Rowell. I mean, he's doing a good job there. He's steadied the ship, hasn't he, Gordon?
He certainly has. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's turned things around. The Rangers fans were in a really bad way at the start of the season with results, performances. But since he's come very, very much better, there's no question of that. He's up there challenging. And we have a real challenge on the Scottish League this year. This is the best season has been for a long, long time. Celtic were winning comfortably for years, no challenge there. All of a sudden we have Hearts that are actually doing a great job. They're sitting top at the moment. And then you've got Rangers are coming back, and then Martin O'Neill is taking over again from Celtic from the previous manager who did a very, very poor job. There's no that he was shocking in his short time there. But now Martin O'Neill's back, then you've got a real challenge with the three teams. But Danny Rowell has done very well. Now it'll be an interesting thing at the end of the season, depending who wins the league, if it's Rangers or Celtic, because the Celtic fans might be a bit annoyed in respect that during the January break, Celtic have brought in players, but they're all just loan signings. Rangers, Danny Rowell has been allowed to spend £12 million on, and that's going to be, if Rangers end up winning the league, I can just see the Celtic fans being a bit annoyed about the fact that he was given funds to bring in.
Okay, I want to ask you on that, Gordon, because what do you think, whether Hearts win the league or not, the SPL, what do you think the objective will be for Hearts for next season? Because they've got so close this year, and if they didn't get over the line, do you see an issue at the club of actually knowing that Celtic and Rangers have probably been the poorest they've been in a number of years?
Yeah, it's true. They've got a great opportunity to win it this year. And as you know, Tony Bloom has come into Hearts and he's doing a very helpful job there. He comes to games and everything. I went to the last match with him when they played Celtic. He invited me along. I'd met him before, the week before at a Man City match when I was down at the new club that's opened there, that the Windsor Blue, it's called, ex-players. And I was invited to that, and it was against Brighton. Met Tony, and he's very keen for Hearts to do well. Now, I think that the main thing about it is one of his big aspects, Tony, is definitely recruitment. So sure that Hearts are going to be bringing in players and be stronger and challenge for the league title. I mean, he even said this year when he came in, he was going to have Hearts challenging for the league title, and everybody was laughing about it at the time. Not anymore, they're not, because Hearts are up the league title, and there's an opportunity for them. They could actually still win it in terms.
Absolutely. Listen, Gordon, what a pleasure to have you on the show this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.
Cheers, Gordon.
Bye-bye.
Take care of yourself, former Brighton striker and former Rangers director of football, Gordon Smith.
Striker.
Yeah, I still think Celtic will win the league, but
well, you're hopeful, but I think it's been really intriguing this year.
Phenomenal.
And the influence of Bloom, as Gordon mentioned there, going up to Scotland and rattling a few cages, I'm sure, but it's also made it the most talked about season.
Yeah, I mean, the way it's all happened in the one season, though, Tony Bloom, Hearts been at the top, Wilfred Nancy, Russell Martin, Rangers and Celtic both falling away.
O'Neill.
St Mirren winning a cup, Martin O'Neill back. How's this all happened in one season?
Yeah, no, it's a season to remember.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sometimes for the wrong reasons, but hopefully for the better. Stick with us. We'll get the odds from Coral shortly, and we're going to look ahead to the game at 4:30. Liverpool take on City. We've got a former Reds defender with us soon.
I mean, arguably, Crook, it could have been a lot worse than this, couldn't it? We thought it might be. This was an additional charge. There was an additional charge for a failing of an obligation to provide full, complete and prompt assistance to the Premier League. Let's be clear. They tried to use a loophole to stop getting an earlier points deduction when they were in the Premier League. Leicester said it was disproportionate, but did they get off lightly?
Yes. And I think Leicester as a football club have been punished for trying to wriggle out of things by trying to use, as Simon Jordan described, the sort of black hole where they were neither a Championship or a Premier League club in order to dodge the charges. They've caught up with them in the end. I know the Premier League were pushing for as many as 20 points to be taken off Leicester, which pretty much would have resigned them, I think, to League One football next season. Will they appeal the Premier League that this isn't harsh enough, the punishment? Well, that's an interesting question because I don't think Leicester will appeal, and maybe risk a further point deduction. I think they should feel they got off lightly. But just looking at their statement, and a lot of Leicester fans have picked up on this, it probably tells you where they're at as a football club. There was no real contrition from Leicester. They're still trying to play the victim for the fact they breached PSR rules to the tune of nearly £21 million. They've brought a lot of this on themselves. They've made bad decision after bad decision. They've hired and fired managers with too much regularity. They've sold players but replaced them with players who aren't up to standard. And that's why we're now in a situation whereby on the 10-year anniversary of Leicester...
Rushes out to the right-hand side, has a man there, throws the interception at the 39-yard line. Returning out to numbers 25, 20, Cooper Sheen down to the 10, down to the 5, touchdown Eagles! He's got two blockers, he's going to go all the way, 10, 5, touchdown! And the rookie has picked off the superstar.
Good morning, you're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea and Celtic striker Tony Cascarino, another Super Bowl halftime performer there.
Yeah.
It was his birthday last week, wasn't it? 40.
Justin Timberlake.
It is Justin Timberlake. Shows your sexy Dixie again. You learned it yesterday. Go on, shows.
Well, I don't know what a sexy Dixie is, so was it just...
It's not Dixie, it's Dixie. There you go. Try not to. Yeah. Bring your arms down a little bit more when you roll them round. There you go. That is a sexy Dixie if I've ever seen one.
I'm not doing much.
Sexy Dixie I'm starting to see in the Premier League now. Somebody did it last week. Did it.
So it obviously comes from the American football.
Yeah, from the NFL. The Super Bowl, I believe, is where the sexy Dixie originated from.
Right.
Couldn't tell you the player. But
someone to message him without a doubt.
And then Emma Hayes did it recently.
Did she?
She did it when Trinity Rodman scored a goal and they did the sexy Dixie together. Yeah. Somebody did it last week. I'm sure it was the Everton. Tierno Barry, that was it. Yeah. Tierno Barry did it last week. But
do you remember when Alan Pardew done the sideline? That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Alan Pardew.
Alan, yeah, when he did that was funny.
He's back on tonight.
Yeah, Majestic is he?
He's back on tonight with Majestic. Yeah, final word. He'll be rating your sexy Dixies a little bit later on. Can you name the year that JT did the halftime show?
I would have said after 2007, so I'm going about 2011.
A little bit later, 2018.
Oh, right, okay.
Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New England Patriots in Minnesota. We're building up to the big one tonight. Super Bowl 60 is live here on talkSPORT. Build up from 11. Seahawks take on the Patriots, and it all gets underway from 11:30. It's time now to get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Get set to bring the cheer this festive season with a sleigh full of free rewards from Coral. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Oh, and Simon Clare, give us the sexy Dixie.
I don't know. What is the sexy Dixie?
There you go. It's the Dixie, not the Dixie. So you kind of... You roll
the
your
sexy
shoulders.
Dixie. Never heard of it, Cass, have you?
No, not really.
I'll keep
Simon,
you guys down
but,
with the
you
kits.
know.
Thank me later.
Yeah.
You are so cool, Shebahn. I've always said that.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
Simon, where are we going to first? Because obviously, big results yesterday. Arsenal win again, and going 9 points clear with City playing Liverpool today.
Yeah, listen, Arsenal fans starting to relax again after a little wobble a couple of weeks ago. They're 6 on to win the title. Manchester City 6-1. Huge day for City, obviously, against Liverpool. Amazingly, actually, Shebahn, Man United now third in the title, betting at 33-1. That might be a stretch. But they're just 3 points behind Villa. You rightly say they could catch Villa. And in the top 4 betting, Arsenal, almost no offers. Man City, we think, are 1-25 to get one of those 4 slots. But then it's Villa at 4-6. Man United now, was favourites to get one of those 4 spots, 4-5. It's then 10-11 Liverpool, huge game in their top 4 challenge today. And then 11-8 Chelsea. So it looks almost like a 4-team shootout for 2 of those spots in the top 4 between Villa, United, Liverpool and Chelsea. And for Shebahn, what a role United are on. They've got a real shot at Champions League football now next season.
I mean, the fact that it's West Ham at the London Stadium live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night is the most intriguing game of the lot, but I am confident that it'll be a Manchester United win and that Mr. United Strand, Frank, will be getting his haircut. I'm confident it'll happen on Tuesday night.
Of course. That's right. We've got that little subplot as well. I forgot about that.
That feels like the plot. Never mind Champions League football. Will Frank get his Barnett job?
I mean, Liverpool City, obviously massive game. You've been talking about it all morning. I didn't fully realise, actually, Liverpool's record against City at Anfield. Only lost 1 in 22, which points to a Liverpool win at 5-4, maybe a draw at 3-1, but certainly Arsenal fans, that 7-4 Man City doesn't look that attractive in the light of that stat and the fact that City haven't looked that as solid and consistent this season. Cass, are you expecting a sort of an Arsenal favouring result today?
Yeah, I do feel Liverpool capable. I just think City are not as good defensively. Look, they're still decent enough. I think Mark Gay will make a massive difference to them. But I just think you can get at City a little bit more, which has shown certainly in the last couple of months.
Yeah, injuries have been a problem.
Yeah,
they really have.
They've had a number.
Yeah.
I do feel... And Liverpool have turned a little bit of a corner as well. They feel like in midweek as well, watching them play from last weekend, just a bit more. The way they beat Newcastle, I think there's a little bit more there with Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah. And then we've got that fierce derby, actually, which I attended many years ago, Brighton and Palace. I went to Selhurst Park, and I'd never fully appreciated the vitriol in this fixture. But they really don't like each other when it's match day anyway. And it's even money Brighton today. There's only 2 points separating these sides. 5-2 Palace away from home at the Amex. The draw 5-2, and again, I did a little bit of research, which will surprise you, and something that roughly 40% of these games finish in a draw, really tight fixture. And when you think 5-2, the maths of that stat suggests 5-2 the draw might be the bet to place. But a heated game today at the Amex.
Yeah, lots of Brighton and Palace fans getting in touch just about how much today means to their side and the team of the rivalry. For me, I think it does have draw written all over it as well. Listen, Simon, I'm getting my early nights. I'm getting my stomach lined for Cheltenham. I cannot wait. The build-up is on already, and you've got decent racing to look forward to today.
Yeah, we have. Listen, we got a great race, the Boyne Hurdle in Navan today. It's Irish Racing takes centre stage today, and a horse called Staffordshire Knot, trained by Gordon Elliott, who might be a live outsider for the Stairs Hurdle, is the even money favourite today. And we saw a couple of really good performances yesterday at Newbury with Lulamba. One for Nicky Henderson. He's now the 5-4 favourite for the Arkle Trophy on the first day at Cheltenham. And Haiti Couleur with Sean Bowen on board was quite impressive. And now is the 9-1 chance for the Gold Cup on the final day. And yes, Shebahn, the pressure's on. The build-up to Cheltenham's beginning. And you know that you're there ready and waiting to step into the breach. Should Alan Brazil not make the 5 days this year, which we know, I reckon is probably, I'd say we're going to be coming up with odds on whether he makes all 5 days. I'd say it'll be about 5 to 4 him to do all 5. So that makes you a shade of odds on to appear at some stage.
I think he'll manage every day this year again, because he did last year, let's not forget, because he's got his plan in place. I don't know if he'll like me saying this out loud, but Jill picks him up every day at 4 o'clock.
All right.
So he has his chauffeur out there, so he makes sure he gets his 8 hours at night. and a proper dinner and a good sleep. So since he started this routine, you know, maybe Gill's the key. Is if we can keep Gil Brazil at the usual pickup time and Alan at the car, I think he'll be all 5 days.
Nothing will be discussed more than this before the Cheltenham Festival, trust me.
Will it bring a smile to Alan's face?
You say he's miserable?
I bumped into Alan in midweek and he was all... You know, he wasn't a happy bunny as you know. Alan's full of life anyway.
Cracks me up.
Oh yeah.
Simon, thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Have a good day. Take care of yourself. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+, be gambleaware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Get set to bring the cheer this festive season with a sleigh full of free rewards from Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Coming up for you, we're going to speak to former Liverpool and Spurs defender Steven Caulker to get into today's huge game at Anfield and what's next for Thomas Frank's men. Good morning.
You can believe what? Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me? Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man?
Why you don't believe it?
Why is it?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
go on.
So we go there.
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with colour.
No, it does. This whole country got some. This whole world got something to do with race. You think you got? You think you pan out? You think you have a? You think you done had a great life? You think your life has been like mine?
How is Derek Chisora then, out of curiosity, given he's a black man, a national treasure in this country then? It's not about colour. You called somebody a chick. I asked you a question.
Oh, come on. You have a whole lot of black people around this
question. You like the question. You like the question. All right, I moved on.
Stop it.
I moved on.
Man, come on, man. Y'all can't tell, man.
So the bronze bomber, there he is.
Come on, man.
Come on. We can have a disagreement, can't we?
Life, as a little boy and I bet your view as a little boy is totally different than my view as a little boy. Most black people, why we so into it with each other, because we have PTSD. We done been through so much so much
you wanted to move on, right?
Come on, man. It's hard to move on when you don't know the truth, and that's when I come in and try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You know, you don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard?
Pull it back into the fight. Let's talk about the fight.
It's hard to put it back. I'm from the South. You understand?
Come on, let's pull it back into the...
Let's be honest. We've all found ourselves raging at a referee's decision at some stage. Something like this?
That is an absolutely shocking decision.
They've got a case in that it was a bad decision. It's such a poor decision.
Yeah, I think he's just made a bad decision in that instance.
But what does it take to get to the very top level of football refereeing? You can apply to become a referee through your local county FA from as soon as your 14th birthday. After spending several hours either in the classroom or on the pitch, they'll grant you level 7 status, which allows you to officiate amateur games. Then you'll work your way through the ranks of amateur football, not reaching the National League until level 2. It's a long process, bearing in mind every level from 7 upwards takes an average of a year. Also, there's no specific number of games you have to ref or hours you have to log before moving on up. You simply just have to be good enough. Once you're level 2 and have enough experience at a National League level, you can apply to the EFL to become a level 1 referee. Then it's on you to get enough experience to climb through the ranks and eventually become a Premier League referee. In total, there are 37,000 registered referees across England, but the PGMOL has only deemed 21 good enough to officiate games in the top flight. So if you want to make it to the top, there's less than a 1 in 1,000 chance of doing it, and it'll take you a decade to get there.
feel like a woman.
Good morning, it's the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and Shania's biggest fan, Tony Cascarino. Oh, this was a halftime show.
So what? Twain, isn't it?
Pardon?
Is it Twain?
Yeah, I thought you said twang.
No, Twain.
Yeah, Shania Twain.
Shania, that was it. Twain.
I've been to see her 3 times.
Now that would have been a good few years back.
Yeah, that
Am I
was.
going before 2000 when she sang?
Yeah.
Super Bowl?
2003.
2003.
The year she did this. She's doing a tour with Harry Styles soon.
Right.
You'll love that. Harry Styles, the guy you said was 48 last week. That's so mild.
Shania Twain.
How old is Shania?
Yeah, she
She's
must
got
be
the
late 50s.
Late 50s now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I saw her, was that 2 years ago? It would have been. And she was phenomenal. And she looks like a teenager. Like she's 60. Shut the front door.
No.
She looks unbelievable. And her tunes are just, oh, what a night out. Anyway, that was back in 2003. Shania did the halftime show. We're building up to Bad Bunny. Tony Cascarino's Good Bunny and Bad Bunny of the weekend coming up for you soon. But here's what else is coming up on talkSPORT today. Just after us, Sunday edition. Who's the Good Bunny and the Bad Bunny between Henry Winter and Sean Custis?
Oh, I know Henry better than know Sean, but I don't really know them well enough to say who's the good and bad bunny.
Which one's a good and a bad
You
bunny?
put me on, they're on after us.
The Good Bunny.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it. I mean, they're journalists, so sometimes they've got to be good and sometimes they've got to be bad.
I love
That's
how much
what I have to
detail.
do.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I'm not to their level of journalism, but sometimes you have to say things that people might. I mean, I'll probably go more Sean Bad because he totally gets fixated on Newcastle.
Okay,
But
Sean.
that's his club.
All right, that's
I
fine.
do it with Liverpool.
Sean, come on in here and sock it to the man who
I'll
just
go
called you.
Good
Bad
Bunny, Henry, and Bad Bunny.
Sean, fair
Put
enough.
me on the spot. Then.
Okay, fine. Well, that was a real trick question for our cast this morning. 11 o'clock, the warm-up is here with Max Rushton and Barry Glendenning. Don't worry, we won't do that again. Game Day Live, Sam Matterface and Alex Crook going around the grounds from 1:30 with all the goals as they go in today. All over the place, they will have you posted. Majestic and Alan Pardew taking all of your calls from 6:30. I'm just thinking, which one of these guys are good and bad bunnies? And then Super Bowl 60, as we say, rounds off your weekend. Live from the Levi Stadium, coverage from 11 with our Will Gavin. He's a good bunny. And kick off from 11:30. It's going to be a great night. Super Bowl 60 live here on talkSPORT. Right, if you're looking ahead to a huge game at Anfield this afternoon, the latest instalment of Liverpool versus Manchester City gets underway at 4:30.
And it's time to get down to business. This is where the heavyweights emerge. Oh, there we go. Jeremy Doku has just made it Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0.
Listen, if I have to choose one rival to this, that would be the best.
Tottenham 2, Manchester City 2.
Do you know, at the end of the day, the way that they capitulated in the second half, they didn't look like champions.
Might come back to Reinders.
Pep will want to throw a marker down to us and say, look, if you're not careful, we're going to catch you in the league as well.
Salah pokes it back to Villas. Oh, it's a lovely finish. It's back-to-back wins for Liverpool and their under-fire manager. Boy, did Arne Slot need that.
You can win the league, you can win the Champions League, you can win an FA Cup or a League Cup, but the biggest thing you can win is that you can play the nicest football to watch.
This occasion, this atmosphere, what's at stake? If that doesn't get the adrenaline flowing, I don't know what will.
Oh, it's always a great fixture, isn't it? Especially over the last few seasons. A win for Manchester City today would put them 6 points behind Arsenal. Pep Guardiola said ahead of this one, these games are getting harder to win than they ever have been before.
So, of course, it's tough. Every season is tough. The managers are better. The players, the teams invest a lot. Not just, sorry to tell you, not just Manchester City. Insist on spend net or net spend. I don't know the correct number, the appropriate semantically to say. That just take a look. All the teams, reinforce to be better. And of course, every season is getting more difficult. But I think not just for us, for all the teams.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's a really strange dynamic, this game, because if you take the early part of the season where City were pretty decent as in getting goals and Haaland was an absolute fire, Haaland's now got 2 goals in the last 12 games.
That feels weird, doesn't it?
And that does feel really strange for City. And look, other people have stepped in and they always are their highest goal scorers, it feels, every year, nearly every year anyway, because they're so capable. But that's the strange dynamic because Haaland has found it a lot harder to get goals in the second part of the season.
Which makes us wonder what's changed then? Has something happened behind closed doors? Has conversations been had? Is there something around Pep?
Well, there's new players that have come in. Obviously, Reinders from the start of the season. Shirky has come in. And so there's a little bit of a change of direction. But he's not taken his chances as he did in the early part. We all know he's going to get numbers. We all know he's going to come back to form and get goals. But City can ill afford to have someone like Erling Haaland getting 2 in 12.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can
It's so important to them.
Yeah, no, 100%. It does feel a little bit off. To build up to this game, we can speak to this man.
Your love I'll keep forevermore. You're the first, you're the last, my everything.
It wasn't my choice.
Listen, best voice in the business. It's not Barry White himself, it's former Liverpool and Spurs defender, Steven Caulker. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. I knew you couldn't resist a bit of Barry White this morning.
I know.
Yeah, I was nothing to do with it, Stephen. Shebahn being Shebahn, Bad Bunny Shebahn, definitely.
Stephen, great to speak to you again. First of all, you're in Thailand. What are you up to there?
Yeah, I'm currently in Thailand, so I'm busy doing some networking. It's a tough life trying to become a coach, actually. So I've spent the last few days with Nick Montgomery. He's now the head coach of Beijing Guan, obviously formerly assistant to Ange at Spurs and Nottingham Forest. So yeah, it's been great picking his brains and just trying to learn as much as possible.
Stephen, I've got to ask you because you're very well travelled, aren't you? You've been around with your football career and do you enjoy that part? Because I'm not the biggest fan of travelling, but I've not enjoyed it as much as I've got older. But you seem to be embracing it and enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but you sound like my dad. He hates travelling.
I am a dad.
I love it. I still love it. I love going around the world and experiencing different cultures and just trying to pick up as much as possible.
Yeah.
It also helps when it's 30-something degrees and, you've got the beautiful islands around us as well. So, no, it's been a good trip back home to England soon. And, as I said, just trying to fill up the notebook, trying to get as much information as possible and meet people. You know, it's all about connections, this game. So trying to meet as many people as possible.
Well, today, Man City go to Anfield. And I was just saying there, Stephen, that it's a bit strange looking at Haaland's numbers with a guy that we know gets goals and will get goals. But just having a bit of a lean patch hasn't really served, although others have stepped in.
Yeah, I know. I heard you talking about it before I came on air. It's an interesting one, right? Because his statistics this year are still insane, but it's just been his recent form hasn't been the best. I raised the question: is he tired? The amount of football he's played in recent years, even this season, it's crazy. He's playing more games already in January, February than I played in some seasons. So physically it's a lot, and also mentally. Players can obviously go through the highs and lows. Without him scoring goals, they have had to look elsewhere. Obviously, Semenyo's come in and started hit the ground running. Marmoush's chipped in with a few goals, but ultimately it does look a bit strange to see Haaland, not even starting some games now. He's even dropped to the bench. Guardiola has obviously recognised that he's trying to find the solution, trying to give him a bit of rest. He's trying to change something, but the goals have dried up, but they will, I'm sure, come back. Listen, the quality he's got, they will eventually come back. But, from a City point of view, they need it back today. They need him firing today because the title is just slipping away.
Yeah. And as for Liverpool, it's been a season of two halves for them. And this fixture never disappoints. How do you see Liverpool getting on?
Yeah, so Liverpool, it's been a very inconsistent season from Liverpool's perspective, and they've obviously made a lot of signings, a lot's been spoken about of Arne Slot. And look, I think that, ultimately Liverpool are a good team. They're a very good team. They're a team that, is expected in recent years to be competing at the top and winning the league, That isn't going to be the case this year, but a top four finish and, wouldn't be a bad end to the season with a trophy alongside that. So I think today, on his slot off the back of the Newcastle game, we'll be hoping that his team could again produce. And I want to give a shout out to Ekitike because for me, I love him.
Yeah.
I love watching him. He's been, for me, their best signing. I just love watching him, but I think he's just going to get better and better and better. And he's got such a charisma about him.
Yeah, the idea, Stephen, it felt before the start of the season, is we're champions, we're going to use our muscle, and we're going to go out and spend big and improve on what we've got. And it's ended up being a transitional season.
It has, yeah, and obviously, what happens when you spend a lot of money is expectation is even greater, and there's been a lot of talk about Aherne Tony this season. But I said I personally feel maybe it's quite harsh. He has made a lot of signs that it does take time for the players to settle in and transition. There's been talk around Van Dijk and Salah. They've not had their best seasons either, which hasn't helped. They're the core of Liverpool. They're the face of Liverpool, have been for many years. So it has been a transitional season, but Liverpool can't afford to miss out on Champions League. So they need a result today, the same as City do. So it promises to be a great fixture. Although the two are not necessarily going for the title, City are obviously hoping to keep pressure on Arsenal. Liverpool over to get top four. It's still a big fixture and one that I'm looking forward to watching.
The other end of the table, let's talk about Spurs. I mean, what is going on there? Are you actually fearing that they're going to be in a bit of a relegation battle now that Romero's got a 4-game ban from that second red of the season yesterday?
I don't feel like they're going to be in a relegation battle, but it's so frustrating to see. I mean, Spurs, I don't know really. I actually don't know what's going on with them. I was at the game recently when they were playing West Ham. The boos all around the stadium. A lot of the fans want Thomas Frank out. I'm more Thomas Frank in, believe it or not. I just think Spurs need some consistency with a manager. They've had seven managers the last 6 years. Changing a manager now, what will that actually do? I think some of the players need to step up. Romero being one of them. Look. What a player he is, right? Let's start with that. He had a couple of weeks ago, he scored 3 goals in a week. But, before that, he was sent off for a reckless red card. And after that, he was sent off for a reckless red card. It doesn't help Thomas Frank's injury situation when you've got your captain out. And I think that's something that obviously needs to be addressed because he is the leader. And obviously, when you've got that responsibility, you need to be responsible. Your players are looking up to you.
Do you think he's been responsible off the field, Stephen? Because obviously he's made some criticisms to the people in the higher positions at the club, and being the captain of the football team, I don't think it's helped him. And I see it as a far bigger problem if your captain, World Cup winner, and like you said, is one of the better players, but is maybe some would argue, well, yeah, you have to ruffle a few feathers along the way.
Yeah, he's definitely emotional. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. I don't really agree with the public outlash. I mean, I've been there myself. I've done it, but I mean, so I'm not going to see it and sound like or talk like a hypocrite and say you shouldn't do that. I get it. At times, we're emotional people, we're sensitive people, we're human after all. But I would say, obviously, as captain of Spurs, you might do it once, but you don't want to then see it happening again and again and again. These things are better handled in house. Yeah. And as I said, certainly you want Romero on the pitch. At both ends. He's the guy who gets you goals. He's the guy who obviously leads from the back. So it's a big loss for Thomas Frank, and again just puts more pressure on him, pressure that he really doesn't need.
Stephen, I mean, the next game's Newcastle, live on talkSPORT, and then it's 3 London derbies without your captain. I mean, I'd say it is a worrying time for Spurs fans, and it will be for Thomas Frank as well. Listen, before we let you go, you touched on there working with Ange Postecoglou's former assistant, right?
Yeah.
I take it you got some interesting insight there. How is Ange, and is there anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, I think he's just taking a break right now. Obviously they went into Forest, and there was the expectation that they're walking into a club that's playing European football and they're going to have time. Without giving that time, it hasn't worked out, and it hasn't worked out for Nottingham Forest either. It seems, because obviously they're still struggling down the bottom of the league, even under Dyche. So I think just taking a breather and seeing what's next. Obviously Nick Montgomery's going to take the job and over here in Asia, away from the spotlight, but on that note, it's good to see British coaches going abroad. It's those of us that do like to travel. It's good to see us over here and making a name for himself.
Well, listen, thanks so much for your time this morning, Stephen. We appreciate it. Have a good day. All right.
Cheers, Stephen.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
All the best. Steven Caulker there, former Spurs defender. Interesting stuff. I wonder if we'll ever see Ange back again. I mean, Stephen won't repeat what's been said, but I mean,
when you get tarred with a brush and then you have the Tottenham experience and then backed up with Nottingham Forest, it's hard. It's where you have to go. Do you have to drop down levels? And I'd probably say yes, he would have to. Or if he can get a European team that is exciting position for him.
That's the thing. I mean, Tottenham, even though they won the trophy, they were so heavily criticised by the state of their league performance. And with Thomas Frank, it's in the same direction. And they won a trophy with Ange, and even the player who scored the goal in that final, now he's not at the club. He's gone the other way. It's just, it's all very bizarre. It's bizarre at Tottenham's basket case.
Yeah, it's always been a very emotional sort of club and what's going on off the field. And look, I understand Stephen there was saying about, Romero, But you have to be careful. When you're in a position of captaincy, you're trying to help not only the manager, but your fellow pros to try and drag the team out of this. You know, they're in a position, looking at them again, they're nearly having the same season as last year.
Well, this is it. And they won't be
same.
winning a trophy.
Yeah.
Well, they might.
Well,
you know,
it's a huge might.
Yeah. That's the thing with Ange. At this stage, he was going all out for the final. You know, he knew his priority. He knew what was possible.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. You listen to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, the one you've all been waiting for. Good Bunny or Bad Bunny next. Let's focus on Chelsea. Liam Rosenior back pages again. Rosenior hits out at Arsenal. Chelsea head coach accused the opponents of disrespect for disrupting his side's warm-up before the cup tie.
I wouldn't come out with that, me.
I guess he was asked about it.
Bat it away, use your brains, use your head. Say, oh, mate, what's your point? You saying that costs the game? No.
He got a bit excited, didn't he? Really, you saw if you've watched the video, I'd love to see how far onto their side of the pitch they were, because they didn't pan round, did they? They just showed him giving a bit to somebody. You didn't see who it was at. You didn't see how far they were into there. If they're right in their half and they're constantly doing it, then I get it. I understand it, but still, it's just calm it down.
Rosenior mentioned that it could be mind games, though. Do you believe that the Arsenal players were creeping into that half to get in their heads, or was it just a genuine?
They've done the job either way. They've got in their head either way.
Well, now he's talking about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shebahn, I don't know. Arsenal were favourites to win that game for me. Why would you? Nah. Maybe you might say, look, you know the rules, stay in your own half. But nah, I don't. I think we're looking at a big problem here that's not a problem.
Yeah, I don't think they need to resort to doing that, Arsenal.
Yeah, he said in the interview, I've never asked my team to approach on the opposition's territory. I didn't think it was right. Where they were operating, they were affecting my lads' warm-up. What's your thoughts on Rosenior?
I'm still a little bit waiting for it, to be honest with you. The results are ultimately going to be the thing that dictates whether he's a successful.
Hello there, good morning to you. Welcome along to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Marseille striker Tony Cascarino. Elizabeth Thurland continued her impressive scoring run against Leicester City in the WSL. Manchester United closing the gap in the WSL to Man City to 8 points. Man City at the Emirates today facing Arsenal. I'm curious about this one, you know. It's going to be live on talkSPORT 2. By the way, proud mum moment, my kids are going to be mascots at the Emirates today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did you pull that one off?
But yeah, thank you for that.
You've done very well.
Thank you. I hope they don't embarrass me. I'm joking. They'll be great. Looking forward to that. Good game today at the Emirates. Arsenal host Man City. It's live for you on talkSPORT 2. Teenager Ryan scored his first goal in English football as Bournemouth drew with Aston Villa, who missed the chance to go second in the Premier League. And Nick Ball's reign as WBA featherweight world champion ended in dramatic fashion last night. The British boxer was stopped in the 12th round by Brandon Figueiredo in front of a stunned bunch of home fans in Liverpool. Devastation. Here's our Gareth A. Davies with a roundup of what went down.
Good morning, Shebahn. Morning, Tony. Yes, well, a very difficult night for Nick Ball defending his WBA featherweight title in front of 8,000 fans at the M&S Arena in Liverpool. Brandon Figueroa stopping him in the 12th round after a brutal and brilliant fight between them. You know, going into that last round, even though many of us had Nick Ball a point ahead, two of the judges, Marcus McDonald and Glenn Feldman, had Brandon Figueroa 106 to 103 up, meaning that Nick Ball needed a stoppage himself anyway. Steve Gray had him ahead 107 to 102, but it was a terrible end for Nick Ball defending his WBA title for the fourth time, but a brilliant performance nonetheless. He just went to the well and had nothing left by the end of it. Brandon Figueroa becomes a three-weight world champion, the Mexican-American, led very well in the corner by the great Manny Robles, who was behind Andy Ruiz defeating Anthony Joshua in New York all those years ago. It's a great night in Liverpool, but not a great one for Nick Ball.
Gareth A. Davies there with the latest from that last night. He'll be absolutely devastated, Nick Ball. Don't forget to check out the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel for everything that you need to know. Okay, it's time now for this. Tonight, Super Bowl 60, live in California, and this year's halftime act is Bad Bunny. Who many at talkSPORT aren't really aware of. Some of the cool guys outside, you know, the youngsters.
Yeah.
They're like, how can you not know Bad Bunny? He's the most streamed artist on Spotify. But, I mean, us elders.
Yeah, I learned about him last week.
There's lots of people on the text who have never heard of Bad Bunny. So I'm asking if it's the relative of Bugs Bunny. Is it the nephew of Jive Bunny? That's Jerry in Belfast. Apparently he's playing at Spurs Stadium in June.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see him tonight at the halftime show live on talkSPORT for Super Bowl 60. So Tony Cascarino is going to choose his good bunnies and bad bunnies from football yesterday. If they are a good bunny, you're going to hear this.
What's up, Doc?
And if they're a bad bunny, you'll hear this. That makes total sense because that is Bad Bunny. Take it away, Cass. Who's been a good or bad bunny for...
Okay, my first one's going to be Bernd Leno, the goalkeeper of Fulham, who, by the way, concedes an own goal, and he's being pressured by Jake O'Brien in the 1-1 in the game, and it ends up going 2-1. Right. And he's my bad bunny. Bernd Leno. I don't know if I've done that very well, but he's my bad bunny on that one because I just thought cost them dearly, Fulham. But I'm going to go to now Keith Andrews.
I was going to say Keith Andrews too.
Keith Andrews, and because he did a tactical decision during the game yesterday against obviously Newcastle, and Dango Montera went out on the left and went up against Trippier, and he ended up getting the winner. And by the way, he caused Newcastle a lot of problems yesterday. So it's more Keith Andrews because of a tactical decision. So he's my good bunny.
Okay, I think that's very, very fair. A lot of people
very fair.
Completely with you about.
My third one. Sorry, Yerson Mosquera. I never know. When you see defenders do daft things and he's running back to his own penalty box and he pushes Pedro in the back deliberately, gives the referee absolutely no choice but to give a penalty. I thought it was a crazy incident that ended up putting Wolves 2-0 behind. So, yeah, I'm going to go Mosquera, Bad Bunny. Anyway, my next one is going back to Thursday night, okay? France took on Ireland, and I sat there, anticipation, thinking, oh, this will be a great game. The French absolutely blew the Irish away.
Yeah.
They were incredible. Pace, power, technical. Ireland couldn't live with them, and Ireland, in the last couple of years have been a hell of a good team, and still are. They were just taken out by France. Yeah. And France play England in the final game of the Six Nations in Paris. That is some challenge, because I'm telling you, they're my good bunny of the week, because what I witnessed was an incredible performance by the French.
I think according to online, Premier League fans give Bad Bunny of the week to Christian Romero for his sending off after mouthing off about the board midweek. I'm going to give my good bunny to Bruno Fernandes because it's been constant, and yesterday showed.
Oh, I thought it was all me.
I just thought I'd weigh in on that as well. I just thought I'd weigh in.
Well, you've picked the best ones.
And can I just say, if you're not watching the smart TV or the YouTube channel, you need to deal with your life now and sort it out, because Tony Cascarino has done this whole section in cute little floppy bunny ears. Time to send you back to your rabbit hutch. Have yourself a good weekend. Enjoy what's coming up. Stay with us for Super Bowl 60 live for you here on talkSPORT tonight. The Hawks take on the Patriots from Santa Clara. We are there. Do not miss a thing. Coming up next, the Sunday edition with the good bunny, Henry Winter, and officially Bad Bunny, Sean Custis.
I think there's times as well, isn't there? You look at the problem at Sheffield Wednesday and how Barry Bannon's gone about it when he's been there and he's come out and spoke when members of staff aren't getting paid and stuff. There's times to come out, isn't there, and speak, but the problems that Spurs are having when they've got so many good players available still, just keep it in-house. You know, let Thomas Frank deal with that.
Yeah, for sure. Because Thomas Frank has obviously been asked about it. He was quite diplomatic in public. In private, would he have been fuming with his captain, you think?
I think so, yeah. I think he would have been fuming.
Does he do fuming?
He does sort of quiet fuming.
Scandinavian fuming.
Yeah, he doesn't shout and bawl, but he will drag you in there and have a word for sure. He's not. Because